We've got inventory of the top gear arriving from now until year end, so don't miss your chance to score the best selection of sticks, skates, and gear for on or off the ice. At Pure Hockey, you'll also experience industry-leading personalized skate fittings with the newest in advanced 3D scanning technology. So get ready to dominate in the newest skates for the season. Plus, our rewards program is unbeatable. Head to your Wake Forest Pure Hockey store plus 2 other nearby locations and start earning today. Pure Hockey, your ultimate hockey headquarters.
No one knows the importance of a great assist more than Lowe's and Leo Messi. That's why we've teamed up to give My Lowe's Rewards members 10 times the points when Messi makes an assist during CONMEBOL Copa America USA 2024. Activate this offer starting June 20th, so when Messi assists, you score. Shop the day after an assist to earn those extra points. Not a My Lowe's Rewards member? Join for free today. Visit Lowe's.com/Messi for more details.
Earth Justice is a national legal nonprofit fighting to protect people's health, to preserve magnificent places and wildlife, and to combat climate change. Visit us at earthjustice.org. Earth Justice, because the earth needs a good lawyer.
Timmy, everybody. Great job. Next up for our 5th grade class recital, we have Samantha.
10 times better performance can make a big difference. Castrol Edge Motor Oil gives your engine 10 times better high-stress performance. Castrol Edge, better oil for maximum performance. Now through December 28th, Castrol Edge and Edge High Mileage Motor Oil are on rollback at Walmart.
Claim based on sequence dyne test under high-load conditions versus API SP test limit.
This hour of buzzer-beating, nail-biting, edge-of-your-seat sports action on 99.9 The Fan is powered by
Ritchie Law Firm Injury Lawyers.
Visit GotBryan.com.
That's GotBryan.com.
WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on radio, web, app, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports leader.
I'm WREL meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. The rain continues to come at us for the rest of the afternoon. It is a WREL weather alert day. We have a flood watch in effect. We could see 1.5 to 3 inches of rain through the rest of the afternoon. Cooler, though, with a high of 83. Mid-70s tonight under cloudy skies. We may start with a few isolated showers or storms Saturday, and then a bit of clearing with a high of 91.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 3 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones is up 432 points to 40,185. Market update brought to you by The Good Feet Store. Ready to step into a healthy and active lifestyle? Come to The Good Feet Store and experience the difference. Discover how a simple step can lead to a life of pain-free possibilities.
O'Connell with 1 second, left wing 3 on the way, banks it in! He got it! I don't believe it!
Jeremy backs out, has Roberts on him, into the paint, rises up, big time!
Young throws, he's got Tommy, near side 2-1, touchdown Carolina!
To Ryan, catch and shoot 3, right wing, he did it again! Ryan has 27!
Anderson makes a save, and it's kept out by Martin! What a save! Martin just robbed
The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. On a Friday, it's always good news, right? It's Friday. I'm Tim Donnelly, Dennis Cox producing the show. And we're starting it off with a question that I thought might have been solved behind the scenes. Thought we might have already had an answer, it's just we didn't have the answer, you know what I mean? There already was an answer, we just didn't know it. Why hasn't Seth Jarvis gotten his deal done yet? I'm going to take you back a little bit here to June 26th. ESPN was putting out their expectations for free agency in the NHL. And this is what they wrote about the Carolina Hurricanes. June 26th. What they should do. Carolina's offseason program hinges on one contract getting done, and it's for Jarvis. The pending restricted free agent has vastly outperformed his expiring entry-level deal and will be in line for a well-deserved pay raise. New GM Eric Tulsky should be zeroed in on how to keep Jarvis happy with the Hurricanes for years to come. Until Tulski knows what Jarvis's number is, it'll be difficult for Carolina to tap into the free agent market. End of clip there. Well, they haven't got it done yet. They've made a whole bunch of free agency deals, both letting players walk and bringing players back, or not back, but bringing new players in. They've brought a player back. So are we counting Chatty? Is that what we're doing? All right, that one was, I believe, already done by the 26th. But I did think, and I had said this on air, that I thought, like, behind closed doors, under the table, not under the table because it was completely legal to be talking with them, I thought perhaps the Canes and Jarvis, or more importantly, the Canes front office and Jarvis's representation had already come to an agreement on what they were going to sign. But in the interest of having an information advantage over whoever you're negotiating with for free agents, right? Because only you would know how much cap space you have available, because only you would know how much of that is going to Seth Jarvis. I thought maybe they would go like, hey, we agree on it. Let's just not put ink to paper until we go out here and do everything else in free agency. Well, the thing is, they went out and did everything else in free agency, and they still haven't gotten the Seth Jarvis deal done. So now I'm going, well, why not? And it's interesting because, right, obviously before the show we talk about all this stuff in the office, and Dennis brought up, he's like, well, now I think they have to wait for the Necas domino to fall so they know how much is going to be going to Jarvis, and I agree, that's where they are, right?
Yeah, there's the salary cap actually will dictate so much of this because Carolina's looking at about, I know, like, sites like Puckpedia are saying it's like 11.6, but really it's more like $13 million in cap space. Well, depending on what you do with Martin Necas, if Martin Necas is making if Martin Necas is making, let's say, $5.5 million off of arbitration, or $5 million bucks, and you're trying to sign Jarvis to $8 million bucks a year, well, you still have Jack Drury, who's on arbitration right now. You just might not have the room.
I completely agree with that.
So, yeah, the Necas domino has to fall first.
So now they have to wait for it. But what that tells me is what I was anticipating happening didn't. They didn't have the Seth, like, think of it like a puzzle, right? They didn't have the Seth Jarvis piece in place, and then they were going to try to fill everything in around it. They were building things and hoping the Seth Jarvis piece would fit, and now that it might not how they originally anticipated, they have to wait for the rest of the puzzle to fill in. The other side of this is how much of their offseason, meaning the best laid plans, right? The best intentioned plans were centered around Jake Gensel accepting that 8-for-8 deal.
A lot of it.
It seems like the moment Jake Gensel said, actually, I know I said 8-for-8 will get it done. Now that it's close enough to free agency, I want to test the market, and a little birdie told me Tampa might be interested. The moment that he dropped that metaphorical explosion on this offseason, all of the best laid plans got completely torn up.
And don't forget the almost trade of Martin Necas to Columbus.
A couple almost trades, yeah. I'd assume. It seems like the Canes might be on their like 8th plan, maybe 25th plan. I don't know. Maybe I'm being generous. Maybe they're making it up on the fly, right? Started with the quarterback in the huddle going like, all right, everybody run Ranger on 3, Ranger on 3. Now they're going like looking at wide receivers going, you run a post. You here, look at this. Like you're drawing it up in the dirt. They're just trying to figure it out as it goes along. And that makes me nervous when it comes to figuring it out as it goes along. And the thing that you're figuring out is the future of Seth Jarvis with the Carolina Hurricanes. Right? Because, yes, like, Seth isn't going anywhere, right? Jarvie, he really can't go anywhere. He could sign an offer sheet, and then the Canes would match it, and he would stay with the Canes on whatever the terms are. There could be a bridge deal. Like, there are ways to ensure that he will stay in Carolina. But then you're not the ones making the plans, right? If somebody else signs him to an offer sheet, you are then at the beck and call. You are at the whims of whatever that term sheet is. Right? Because what happens if this goes on? Martin Necas goes to arbitration, gets a certain amount of money, maybe slightly more than you were anticipating. Seth Jarvis signs an offer sheet, more money, slightly more than you were anticipating. And the cap space isn't there. Now rock meets hard place, and Jack Drury might be caught in the crosshairs, and who knows what else is going to happen. There's something to be said for, and this is why getting the Slavin deal done early, this is why you want anyone to be on a long-term contract that you care about as a core of your franchise. Because then you can build around it, and can we afford Roslovic? Can we afford a 1-year deal for Robinson? Can we afford an extra $500,000 for Jordan Martinook? Right? If you had the Seth Jarvis deal done already, all of those decisions are made knowing you have to work around Seth Jarvis. The same way your entire free agency was done knowing you have to build around the deal that Slavin signed, and even in years past, right? The deal that you have Aho on, the deal that you have Svech on, those you have to build around. I don't like the idea of Seth Jarvis being the piece that's building around all of these $2 and $3 million per year free agency contracts. I like the idea when all your depth pieces and their contracts are fitting in the salary cap around your core. I mean, ESPN said it on June 26th. Carolina's offseason program hinges on one contract getting done, and it's for Jarvis. There's essentially 2 contracts that haven't gotten done. Jarvis and Drury. It's a reverse order, right? We got one priority. Let's save it for last after we do everything else. Seems like a weird way to go about it. Not to mention, and this is, GM shouldn't think this way, but I'll throw it out there because we're media and we can think about it from every angle. Jarvis is good for business, man. Jarvis is good for selling jerseys. Jarvis is good for building hype. Jarvis is good for social media. Jarvis is a guy that, I have no idea why this popped into my head. Do you remember there was a show way back in the day called Making the Band?
Yes.
I have no idea why I remember this, but there was the choreographer was screaming at them when they were essentially it was like American Idol, but you were making like a boy band. And I just remember the choreographer screaming at the people making the decisions, going, "He's the only movement I have," because they were going to cut a guy who was a good dancer, but maybe not as good a singer as everybody else. And I just kind of envisioned the marketing department going like, "He's the personality I have. We need the social media of Seth Jarvis. Do not mess this up." Sure, everyone else is good at hockey. He is too. But he's the only movement we have. Give Seth Jarvis a deal. That's where I'm sitting on. Make sure he wants to be a Cane for a long time. You don't have to worry about him getting old. You know why? Because even a long-term deal, he's still going to be young at the end of it. Like that's an important part here. We'll give him a bridge deal. Great. So that way, when you get to a long-term deal, he'll be old at the end of it. Give him the long-term deal when he's young at the end of it.
Even if you did a 2-year bridge deal and an 8-year deal, he's still only going to be 32 years old.
32, 33. Credit to you for on-air math.
Yep.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We're going to take a break. When we come back, 99 questions about the college football season. We've been asking one a day. Today's question has to do with the future. Stick around.
It's the summer of soccer.
Swiderski for Capetti. It's stolen away by Hack. Hit the line by Gaines. A shot. He scores!
All the saves.
Polina with brilliant quick footwork across his 6-yard box to be able to recover and grab the strike from Kubo.
All the goals.
He just sends it back into the area for Swiderski. One touch. He scores!
The Triangle's home for Charlotte FC action. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle sports leader.
Picture this, the perfect summer barbecue. No stress, no responsibilities, just all your friends, burgers sizzling, hot dogs cooking, Pepsi Zero Sugar fizzing, and a backyard of very, very happy people. Oh yeah, we could get used to this. Very, very used to this. Grilling, better with Pepsi.
For a limited time, get 2 20-ounce Pepsis for only $4.25 at Refuel. So hurry in and enjoy an ice-cold Pepsi today.
Did your mobile provider just increase their prices again? Switch to Spectrum Mobile, the nation's fastest-growing mobile provider. With Spectrum Mobile, you get unlimited talk, text, and data, plus nationwide 5G. Switching to Spectrum Mobile has never been easier. We'll pay off your phone balance up to $2,500. Stop dealing with price hikes from your cell phone company. Get Spectrum Mobile. Visit spectrum.com/itpays-to-switch for full details. Offer subject to change. Service not available in all areas. Restrictions apply.
Doesn't the North Carolina Education Lottery Winners Club give the best massages?
I've never felt so relaxed.
Thanks to this month's scratch-offs, this is our life now.
It's like winning again and again and again.
New $80 million cash blowout and triple red sevens mean new winners. The Winners Club awaits. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds winning range from 1 in 4.28 to 9.95. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
You're not going to want to miss this. Diamonds Direct summer sale starts next weekend. For 3 days only, next Friday through Sunday, get 20% off. Rings, earrings, pendants, bracelets, and more. Plus, book an appointment and get an additional $100 off. And designers are flying in from New York and LA to showcase their latest trends. That's 20% off, plus $100 off with an appointment and designer trunk shows. Tons of engagement rings on sale, too. 20% off starts next Friday. Details at diamondsdirect.com.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
If you're looking to get a new car, you could really cut expenses by bundling your car and renter's insurance with Progressive. Sure, you love your old car, but you know it's not normal to give instructions on how to open the window. It should be self-explanatory, but it's not. And notice how when you're in other people's cars, you can feel cushion in the seats? That's pretty nice, right? No, it's just normal. So bundle your renter's and car insurance with Progressive and put the savings toward a new car. It's time. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company. Coverage provided and serviced by affiliates and third-party insurers. Not available in all states.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer, he hears things differently. To the untrained ear, everything on his shop floor might sound fine, but he can hear gears grinding or a belt slipping. So he steps in to fix the problem at hand before it gets out of hand. And he knows Grainger's got the right product he needs to get the job done, which is music to his ears. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
The Adam Gold Show.
While I'm watching Colombia-Uruguay, not only the end of that match, but the fight in the stands after it.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Heard it got spicy.
A horrible, horrible look. But that was the most excited fans we have seen in 5 years at Bank of America Stadium. Man, look at all the happy people at Bank of America.
Just took the other kind of football.
Yeah, there you go. More of that.
The Adam Gold Show, weekdays starting at noon on 99.9 The Fan.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Vibing on a Friday coming out of break. 99 questions about the college football season. We've been asking one a day since there were 99 days to opening kick. We keep getting closer. We got to be down near around 40 days to opening kick now.
Might be less.
Something like that. Something like that.
When's week 0?
Oh, see, do
It's
we
like August 21st, right?
Do we count down to 0? Do we count down to 1?
I think that's when we started it.
Week 0. What a dumb. Why not call it week 1?
I don't know.
We'll figure that out another day. For right now, the question is, and this was a question I have to admit, it was a whole article about it in The Athletic. How much better did the situation for college football teams change? How much better or worse did it get based on the changes to college football that are enacting this year? There are a bunch of changes in college football this year. Right? The Pac-12 is no longer in existence. So realignment has been – actually, that's a lie. They just had their media day. It was just 2 teams, and they were hanging out, open bar. Did you see that, by the way? It was hilarious. Pac-12's media day was credits whoever put it on. Washington State and Oregon State had their own deal. There was an open bar the whole time. The commissioner talked and apparently said, bar is open. If anyone deserves to drink, it's the Pac-12. They interviewed the mascots.
Well done.
Interviewed the mascots on stage.
Both of them?
Neither talked.
That makes sense.
They just had to fill time for a day because they only had 2 teams there. So anyway, that's a change, right? The realignment, the new teams in the Big Ten, new teams in the SEC, new teams in the Big 12, new teams in the ACC. But then on top of that, there's the expanded college football playoff. So there's naturally a kind of wider chance for teams to make it to the college football playoff. So what The Athletic did is they went to every team in the power conferences, and on a scale that they had from +5 to -5, with it obviously 0, like neutral as an option, from +5 to -5, how much has your situation improved or regressed? And this is not taking anything into account of what you have on the field, right? It's not like, oh, you got a bunch of transfers, so your team is better, +2. It has nothing to do with what's on the field. It's just about the programs, the situation, your conference situation, your playoff situation, and everything else. According to The Athletic, the Triangle did not get helped very much. No +5s. SMU was a +5, jumping into the ACC, getting more money, all that sort of stuff. There were no +4s in the Triangle. There were no +3s in the Triangle, right? So these are not none of the teams are ones that really increased their kind of standing in the country at all. No +2s in the Triangle. There was a +1. The only team that had their situation get better based on the changes going into college football right now is NC State. And their justification was because with the elimination of divisions in the ACC, they're no longer in the same division as Florida State and Clemson. Except they are kind of in the same division as Florida State and Clemson.
Because there's no division?
It's just you only have to beat one of them rather than both of them.
Mm-hmm.
Because then you just face the other. And like if you finish second in the ACC, you just face whoever's first, right? So UNC was a 0. They are not better nor worse situation. They are exactly the same chances of glory, the same chances for success as they had beforehand. And also, the Athletic threw in a little barb. I don't know if it was intended, a little shot across the bow towards Mac Brown.
Oh, okay.
They said basically it's a basketball school deal that has long been considered a sleeping giant in football. If it does finally wake up, it will more likely be due to an inspired head coaching hire than the various changes to the sport. Mac Brown has, I know he's old and we speculate about retirement. He hasn't said he's on a retirement tour or anything, and they're already saying the way that this program can increase their status is by getting a better head coaching hire. An inspired head coaching hire is the word they used. Other than that, everything's the same. I would actually argue with the changing of everything, with the changing of college sports, UNC has improved their standing, but it's something that was already in place. I don't know if there's been a time where their connection to Jordan Brand is more important. When it comes to building brands, when it comes to being famous, when it comes to selling gear, when it comes to Jordan Brand and that shade of blue, I think that goes a long way towards building brands for players. So maybe this article is just taking into account like the realignment and college football playoff. But with the way college sports are going towards everybody's a brand, everybody needs to NIL, everybody needs to make a name for themselves, I think UNC is positioned well. And then there's Duke. Duke is -3.
Oh.
They say their situation, due to the changes in college football playoff expansion and realignment, Duke has gone down, the third most you can possibly go down.
Interesting.
Basically saying in their explanation here that Duke just lived the downside of its new reality. If they have any success, their coach and quarterback are going to leave. That is, first of all, a little true, right? Duke was turning things around. It felt like there was a rebuild, like they had momentum. There was something they could build off of, and then there was a midnight private jet from Durham to College Station, and Mike Elko was gone. And then Riley Leonard was on, was it a private jet? Maybe just commercial.
Maybe
he was at RDU to South Bend.
It was funny because even before the transfer portal window actually opened, he was already even rumored to be going to Notre Dame. And sure enough, ended up at Notre Dame.
And that's where he ended up. If he's going commercial, you probably have to connect somewhere to get to South Bend. That's probably not an easy. Or you fly in somewhere else and have to drive over there or something.
Fly into Chicago, then drive.
South Bend can't be an easy place to get to. That is a cold realization for a lot of schools, a lot of football teams. It's like if you feel your program buzzing by week 4, it used to be, do we have a young core here? Do we have something we can build on? Is next year or the year after going to be our special year? Now if your team's buzzing by week 4, it's like we better achieve every possible goal we can this season because they're all gone this offseason. Right? If we don't really go ahead and win something special, if we don't, conference, national champion, semifinal appearance, something like that, they're gone. And Duke is, kind of the same way we talked about the other teams. They're still in the same, it's not divisions, but they're in the same pool vying for spots in the ACC championship with the schools that they haven't been able to overcome in the past. Less about divisions, more about just not being as good as some of the other teams. But that's a cold glass of water to the face. Hey, if we ever have a great season,
everyone's gone.
There's an impending doom that is going to set over our program because everybody's going to cash in and we can't really compete. That's brutal. It's like you kind of want to be happy for like a Riley. Like if somebody turns pro early, after their junior year, they turn pro, they go into the NFL, you're like, yay, good luck.
Yeah.
You kind of want to be happy for the player, but then it's like, no, you're going to another college? No, I'm not. But you kind of want to. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Dennis Cox has something for you.
Hey, Dennis Cox here with my friends over at Law Tigers. I was thinking about earlier today, or actually just thinking about right now, just looking outside and see all the rain that's still coming down, about motorcycle safety, being out there safe on the road. If you're ever stuck in a situation where you're riding and all of a sudden you get hit with a storm, what are the things you got to do to be safe to get off the road as fast as possible and take care of your bike? But also, if you're riding on wet roads, what's the safest path to travel? Are you giving yourself enough stopping distance? Are you riding on the right parts of your lane that you're in? There are specific spots that are more safe to ride than possibly just straight down the middle of the lane. There are different things you got to do to be safe out there as a rider, and these are all things that you need to know when you're out there on your bike. Make sure you're being safe, but also when we're out there driving in conditions like this, it's important for us to be safe as well. But if you are injured in a motorcycle accident, this is where Law Tigers comes in. Give them a call, 1-800-LAW-TIGERS, before you call your insurance company. The insurance companies, they just want to give you the least amount of money possible, whereas Law Tigers, they're riders too. They understand what you're going through after an accident. They know what your bike and your gear are worth to you. Your case evaluation with them is always free, and they do not get paid until your case settles. Call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS, North Carolina's motorcycle lawyers. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, announces the nominees for the second annual Fannies. Our awards coming up next.
Hi, this is Renee Chu. The most trusted local news in the Triangle is now on the radio. WREL News Plus. Now get breaking news and severe weather reports on the radio 24 hours a day. Listen on the radio at 96.5 FM in Durham, 99.3 FM in Raleigh, and everywhere in the Triangle at 101.5 HD3.
Hungry for flavor and value? Then it's Bo time. Nothing slays the hunger beast like some of that bodacious Bojangles flavor. And there's never been a better time to satisfy your Bojangles sandwich cravings than now. With Bojangles Summer Sandwich lineup. You can choose a flavorful Cajun fried chicken filet sandwich, or a tender Cajun grilled chicken filet sandwich, or a crispy Cajun filet club sandwich, or a tasty Bo's chicken sandwich. Make it a sandwich combo and add your choice of a side. Maybe Bojangles seasoned fries, dirty rice, or Cajun pintos. And to complete the perfect meal, Bojangles legendary iced tea. There's a Bojangles sandwich combo for everyone in the family. Summer just doesn't get any better than that. What are you waiting for? You know you're hungry, and you know you want flavor and value. So, it's Bojangles sandwich combo time.
That'll be 30 even.
That's 90 points! Sorry, that was a lot. Now that I'm getting 3 times the points on food and fuel with the Navy Federal More Rewards American Express card, I get a little too hyped sometimes.
Cool. Would you like your receipt?
In the bag! Sorry, in the bag, please.
Learn more about the everyday, everywhere Navy Federal More Rewards American Express card at NavyFederal.org. Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission. Navy Federal is insured by NCUA.
Longer days mean longer rides. Make sure your bike, your ATV, your side-by-side, even your golf cart are the best around. From sound station and security, we've got custom stereo systems, custom speakers, even video and LED lighting options for your bike, your ATV, and even your golf cart. Look the coolest on the road or at the lake, just tooling around. All available with installation from Sound Station and Security, with 2 locations, downtown Smithfield and on Glenwood Avenue in Raleigh. Online at myhotsound.com.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career and they talked to me about it.
He was done in just months.
I did do it online.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months with 0 experience at My Computer Career.
It worked for me and I know it can work for you.
It's not rocket science. It's mycomputercareer.edu.
Wait, she's posting pics with a dude in Mexico. We just broke up.
If Heineken Silver was a doom-scrolling ex-boyfriend, it would have all the feels. None of the new boyfriend jealousy.
She looks happy. I'm gonna message her. Hey, Stace, loved the super cute post with @RideRyan7. Enjoy Mexico and that ceviche spot from last year. Send pics.
Heineken Silver, world-class light beer. Only 2.9 grams of carbs and 95 calories. All the taste, no bitter endings. Order now at Heineken.com/silver. Must be 21 and older to purchase. Enjoy Heineken responsibly.
Capital Broadcasting Company and NC Beautiful award thousands of azaleas to nonprofit organizations throughout the state. If your organization would like free azaleas, visit us online at wral-gardens.com. Go to the Azalea Celebration tab and fill out an application form by August 31st. Let's keep our state looking clean and beautiful.
This is Monster Jam. Witness big air, 2-wheel skills, backflips, and all-out racing. It's the only place to see the world's best drivers tear up the dirt in your favorite Monster Jam trucks, like Gravedigger, El Toro Loco, Megalodon, and more. It's big-time fun for the whole family. Monster Jam, as big as it gets. Coming to PNC Arena July 27th and 28th. Brought to you by BKT Tires and Great Clips. Visit monsterjam.com today.
Move your sports day forward.
Players get gaslit in arbitration. You relive every turnover, every lost battle in the corner, every missed shot, because this is about getting paid. But it's also, on the team's end, about getting under the cap.
Get set up. Join Next Up with Paul Ihander. Mornings at 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. The Fannies are our station's awards, right? Kind of like the ESPYs last night. ESPN, ESPYs, 99.9 The Fan, the Fannies. I think our name is funnier. Our name is better. But hey, who's being too picky here? Probably me. Basically, what we do is we give awards out. We choose nominees. We decide on them, and there's a bunch of the same categories that you see, but these are just for the state of North Carolina. Local.
Sticking with pro and college only. Not going to go high school route or anything like that. Pro and college only.
I've done that at previous. We had the Night of Champions in upstate New York with a radio station that I worked for. And when I tell you there is more drama from choosing high school awards, than it was unreal. Coaches, parents, individual players either reaching out before we made the announcements with like, I'd love to get you on the phone for 20 minutes to be able to plead our case, to afterwards saying, how in the world did you choose so-and-so, blah, 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 blah. And when I tell you we had multiple reporters, like as connected as any, like we covered high school sports unbelievably. And that gave us the confidence to be like, no, sorry, you're wrong. We have somebody that watched every game your child played and weren't even on the nominee ballot. Click. We didn't do it like that. But we would talk about doing it like that in the office. But for right now, what we're going to do is we're going to announce the nominees for the Fannies. We're going to discuss it. We're going to talk our way through it. We're going to have some fun with it. And
we'll announce winners next week.
The winners will be announced next week. What this is it's a time to kind of celebrate all the nominees. You see like the Oscars and stuff do this. Well, they'll have like a nominee announcement day. That way everybody gets to, have that moment before they learn that they lost. They get to learn that, hey, I'm nominated. But also this is an opportunity for you all to be like our fact checkers, our spot checkers. If you do not hear an obvious selection, right? If we have best team, male athlete, female athlete. If you don't hear an obvious selection that should be a nominee, we want you to let us know. You can do it on Twitter, at Donnelly Sports to me, at The Fan Rookie to Dennis.
Or our live YouTube stream.
Or our live YouTube stream. Pretty much any way you can get in contact with us will work. So if we miss something obvious, you be our fact checkers, you be our blindside watchers, and let us know what we're missing. But without further ado, Dennis, I think they do usually have like a formerly nominated actor announce the nominees. So Dennis, you're going to be, that Idris Elba or whatever.
Oh, okay.
That person that's going to come out and announce the nominees.
All right. So for the first category, let's go best team. Now, by the way, this runs our timeline here goes from July 1st, 2023 through June 30th of 2024. That's the timeline that we're working with.
Deal.
So best team, NC State men's basketball, NC State women's cross country, UNC field hockey, and UNC baseball are our nominees for best team. Again, college or pro here in the state of North Carolina. Best team, NC State men's basketball getting to a Final Four. NC State women's cross country winning a national championship. Same with UNC field hockey. UNC baseball getting to a College World Series while also winning the ACC. So, I mean, here's the thing. We actually had to pare down nominations just to get to 4.
The cutting room floor was pretty impressive for a lot of these nominees lists. Now, best team, just to clarify for everybody, is this like best team work, or is it do you know what I mean? Like sometimes best team is like they didn't have much talent, but they came together to make a rags to riches run, or is it best team like you want to be the 1972 Dolphins and go undefeated and win a Super Bowl and you are the best team?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, like you factoring in accomplishments, being on court or on field success. I mean, again, women's cross country at NC State won a national championship. UNC field hockey won a national championship. That's as peak as it gets. So that's where we are. Best team.
We might get calls like those high schoolers.
We might.
We might get no. Let me tell you why. There might be some upset, but hey, happens with any awards. What's the next?
Male athlete of the year. We have a few different nominations here. Peyton Wilson, linebacker from NC State.
Best college football defender in the country this year.
R.J. Davis, UNC men's basketball, the ACC Player of the Year.
Best shooting guard in the country this year.
Sebastian Aho, Carolina Hurricanes, and another outstanding season, all-star.
Most underrated superstar in the NHL.
And then Derek Brown, Carolina Panthers, set an NFL record for number of tackles by a interior defensive lineman. When you set NFL records, that's a good thing.
See, I do love that. My initial reaction was that's just because no one else on the Panthers could make a tackle, so they were all available.
They were.
It's like when your safety leads the team in tackles, some people are like, wow, you have a hard-hitting safety. I'm like, or your defensive line and linebackers aren't making enough tackles and they're all getting to the safety.
That or he basically plays linebacker and is listed as a safety.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good group right there. And again, I think we'll get some hey, why is this person not nominated? But I don't – actually, here's what we're also going to have to do.
What's that?
Okay, if you're going to send in, hey, you forgot this one, we're trying to eliminate anything more than 4 nominees.
Yeah.
So don't just send in. You need to make sure this person is in the male athlete category. Also suggest to us who you're taking out. Because, like, I can think of some other pretty good athletes. I don't see any of them that I want to take out of this list, though. So what are you going to do?
Next one, we have female athlete. Deja Kelly, UNC women's basketball, first team All-ACC. Riley Heck, UNC field hockey, first team All-American, also had the shootout game winner in the national championship game for UNC field hockey. Caitlin Toohey, the leader of that NC State women's cross country team that won a national championship. And don't forget Abby Lampy, RT's rolling champion, 2 times over.
I don't want to be the one to ask this.
Yeah.
Are cheese rolling chasers athletes?
Yeah, they are.
Okay.
It's competition.
Yeah, so is chess.
Competition.
I didn't want to be the one to ask, but I do feel like someone was going to, so I wanted to get ahead of it. There's some good names there, too. Goodness gracious.
I know. This is not easy.
No.
This is not easy. Coach of the Year, Wes Moore, NC State women's basketball. Aaron Madsen, UNC field hockey, which when you win national championships, you're going to get nominated for things. Just like Lori Haynes, the NC State women's cross-country coach, also nominated for Coach of the Year, along with Rob Brindamore, Carolina Hurricanes head coach. Because guess what? Your team was one of the tops in the NHL this past season.
Now, you guys did this like 3 days before I took over the show.
Yep. Me and Luis Fernandez did this last year.
Erin Madsen, she was a player last year, correct? Or was that 2 years ago? Do I have my timelines
I think it might be 2 years ago.
Because I was going to say, she might be the first person to be nominated in a player and
she
coach
category.
I can't remember.
Like she may have been
in
actually
back-to-back years.
And actually, I think she was. This was her first year as head coach.
So she I don't know what the nominees were for female athlete.
I think she may have been our female athlete of the year.
She may be nominated for player and coach of the year in back-to-back seasons. That is unreal. Imagine if, like, Rod Brindamore won coach of the year in 2007. That's kind of what she's trying to make happen here. Obviously, the college field hockey version of that, but hey, shout out to Aaron Madsen. Go ahead.
Next one, we have the rivalry of the year. Rivalry of the year. We have UNC NC State football, Duke versus NC State men's basketball, the Carolina Hurricanes versus the New York Rangers, and David Tepper versus Fannies.
And this is as it's played out over this past year.
Yes. That's
right? This is not like the history of the rivalry.
Yes, because if you go in history of rivalry, it's Duke Carolina.
Yeah,
and you know.
And it's
But we're talking about, again, from July 1st of 2023 to June 30th of 2024, the rivalry.
And we're taking in not just the on-field, but if there's a quip in the media, like it's the fans going at it, how aggressive did we hear everything?
All of it factored in. Fights and stands.
If somebody threw a drink on a Jacksonville Jaguar
Exactly.
fan.
Exactly.
Not on a, that was, again, 4 good ones. 4 good ones. We're going to have a hard time making these decisions.
And we'll have these announcements for you on Monday. By the way, the next one we have is the game of the year. This was actually really, really difficult. The game of the year. Again, this is pro and college sports in the state of North Carolina. Game of the year, UNC versus App State football, double overtime win. These are the nominees. UNC football versus App State, double overtime game. Phenomenal game. NC State men's basketball in the NCAA tournament second round, their overtime win over Oakland. Just to get to the Sweet 16. Great game. UNC Wilmington with the upset on the road at Kentucky at Rupp Arena during the college basketball season. And then in the final round of the U.S. Open at Pinehurst, Bryson DeChambeau versus Roy McIlroy.
See, here's the thing. Like, this is maybe the rivalry as well. But, like, you're depending on some non-North Carolina connections, like, Kentucky played a big role in this.
Yeah.
Right? Oakland, Jack Golke, the shooter, played a big role in this. Remember, it was Golke and DJ Burns who were kind of like the two faces of the first weekend of the NCAA tournament. Then they faced off, and obviously it went NC State's way. But Golke's a part of it. Obviously, Rory and Bryce and DeChambeau, not from here, but they brought the juice. There's a lot of good going on there. And then UNC and App, that's everybody. Yeah, I mean, that's just Carolina game.
There are some great games that we didn't include on that, like Notre Dame versus Duke football, Duke versus Carolina double overtime. So there are a lot of good ones that we left off there.
And some that we had to kind of. There's one that I'm thinking of that's a very good game, but that's going to appear in another category. So it's like we divvied it up a little bit.
All right, next category, best single game performance. These are the nominees for best single game performance. R.J. Davis, 42 points versus Miami. Cormac Ryan, 31 points at Duke, where he went 6 of 8 from behind the arc.
Almost 1 point for every year he was old.
Almost.
A little bit more, actually.
Actually, well over that. Pyotr Kochetkov, 45 save shutout versus the Florida Panthers back in February. A 45 save shutout and a 1-0 win.
Your eventual Stanley Cup champions.
Exactly. And then we also had Casey Concepcion, wide receiver for NC State, against North Carolina, had 7 catches for 131 yards and 2 touchdowns, along with 11 carries for 55 yards.
It's a good day.
It's a crazy stat line.
It's a good day. All of those stats are crazy.
Crazy stat line.
And the thing is, all of them are like pretty storied, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they started like climbing up record books and stuff. And like, Cormac Ryan was up there with like Hubert Davis and like a few others in as far as points, 30-point games against Duke. A 45 save shutout, that's going to put you on lists with goalies that you want to be on lists with. They caught fire, if you will. This next one is my favorite category, by the way.
The play of the year.
Can we take a moment?
Sure.
I watched the ESPYs last night.
Yeah.
Wildly disappointed by play of the year.
Oh, really? Because none of these were on there, and all these plays are so much better than theirs?
Maybe. The play of the year was I think it was a playoff game, which made it cooler. But Lamar threw the ball, Lamar Jackson, and it got tipped by the defensive line, and he caught it himself and ran for like 10 yards. Like, if he would have scored, maybe. Right. No, trust me, way more athletic than I could ever be. But it's Lamar Jackson. Of course he's way more athletic than I could ever be. I feel like at the end of Lamar's career, that play won't make, like, the top 25 best Lamar Jackson plays. Yet it was the player of the year across all sports, according to ESPN. I didn't think it was even of the nominees they showed, I didn't think it was the best. So we're going to do better than that. What are our plays of the year here in North Carolina?
Peyton Wilson runs down a wide receiver versus Notre Dame. I think that was kind of like his highlight moment.
Do you know what this one was?
What's that?
You remember Vince Carter's dunk contest?
Yeah.
2000, 2001, whatever it was. He had, I think, 4 dunks. 3 of them, soon as he dunked it, it was, it's over, ladies and gentlemen. Like, you could tell exactly what happened. But then he did the elbow in the rim dunk, and it was like everyone went, Then you watched it on the replay, and like 30 seconds later, everyone was like, oh, because it's like you didn't know what you saw. That's what this one was for Peyton Wilson, because it looks like a big play by Notre Dame, and then you're like, Then you watch the replay, and you're like, oh.
We tracked that. He was down. He's like 15 yards behind that guy. And
you see him
down.
run like Terminator behind him, just or the Bionic Man.
Peyton Wilson, a T-1000. All right, so the Peyton Wilson runs down a wide receiver versus Notre Dame. Drake May, lefty touchdown pass versus Pitt. He's right-handed, threw a touchdown pass left-handed with a guy all over him.
That was impressive.
The Michael O'Connell buzzer beater in the ACC tournament against Virginia to force overtime.
Surprised even himself. Bank rattled it in, little flex.
Bank rattled it in, just the whole deal. And then also, the final nominee for Play of the Year, Jordan Martinook's save on the goal line against the New York Rangers in the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Probably my favorite play of the Kane season.
Oh, yeah.
That's one that if they would have won the championship, if they would have,
you would point back to that play.
It would have been like the start of the DVD story about the run. And it's also just Martinook being Martinook. Like he makes those plays.
Next category, breakout athlete. Casey Concepcion, wide receiver, NC State football. Seth Jarvis, Carolina Hurricanes. I mean, obviously a lot of us Canes fans know who he is, but in terms of a breakout year, Seth Jarvis for the Carolina Hurricanes. DJ Horn, NC State men's basketball. And Brandon Miller, Charlotte Hornets, finished third in the NBA Rookie of the Year voting.
Look at Brandon Miller getting the Hornets on the board in a nominee.
Great season.
Concepcion broke out, obviously. Seth Jarvis, again, like you said, that's more of like a breakthrough level, but I'm counting it.
Yep.
And DJ Horn, do you know what breakthrough? The Fannies every year, breakthrough is going to become more and more competitive.
Oh, yeah.
Because the transfer portal makes for more like out of nowhere explosions. It's like DJ Horn was one of the drivers of a Final Four unbelievable run and, and he's from here. So it was cool.
All right, last category, biggest story. Biggest story. Again, this runs for the Fannies from July 1, 2023 through June 30th of 2024. So the biggest story, the Panthers, Carolina Panthers, firings and hirings. NC State making a run to the Final Four in both men's and women's basketball and College World Series appearance for baseball. The Carolina Hurricanes make some big moves at the trade deadline, but then also not. Tez Walker versus the NCAA. I'm actually going to throw a fifth one in here. NC State football transfers mid-season. Their running back decided to transfer mid-season. Their starting quarterback decided to, after 4 starts, said, no, I'm not going to keep playing anymore. I'm actually going to transfer after this season.
This one is, I think, the hardest to decide. I think this is the one we're going to have the hardest time hashing out of the nominees because they're so different. Like the hirings and firings took over our fandom for multiple different times, but the NC State Final Four runs were so engulfing of everything for, a handful of weeks. The Canes trade deadline, at the time I thought it was going to be the biggest story. Thought that was going to be one of the turning points. Didn't turn out to lead to as much, but at the moment, how could you say otherwise? Tez Walker, and I mean, there's just they're different. So that one's going to be tough. So again, if we missed any of the obvious, feel free to send them to us on Twitter and our YouTube comments. Donnelly Sports is my Twitter handle. The Fan Rookie is Dennis's. The categories, if you were listening and you just missed out, we announced the nominees. I won't read all the nominees, but I'll announce the categories one more time for you, just in case you need your memory jogged on one you wanted to send over to us. There's best team, there's male athlete, there's female athlete, there's coach of the year, rivalry of the year, game of the year, best single game performance, play of the year, that's play, not player, breakout athlete, and biggest story. 10 categories, 10 Fannies. We'll announce the winners next week. And if you have actually, I'll throw this out there. Not for this year, because these are the categories for this year. If you have a category you think that would be better,
oh yeah,
feel free to toss that in there, and we'll consider it for future. This is like our suggestion box. We'll consider it for future endeavors. Same way to contact us: YouTube comments or Donnelly Sports or the Fan Rookie on Twitter. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Speaking of future Fannies, could Sadie Engelhart or Cooper Flagg one day win themselves some Fannies? Sadie Engelhart and Cooper Flagg were named the Gatorade Male and Female Players of the Year for high school at the ESPYs last night. Now, Cooper Flagg, we've talked about on this show. He's been talked about on every sports show, not just because he's going to come play at Duke next year, men's basketball #1 recruit in the country, but he's doing the Olympic team select thing and all that kind of stuff. Sadie Engelhart, though, won the Female Player of the Year, Gatorade Player of the Year. And I come to find out she's also coming to the Triangle for her college sports experience. She is an NC State Wolfpack commit to their, I assume, track and field team. She set the national high school record in the mile and qualified for the Olympic trials in the 1,500 meter. She's in high school. Cooper Flagg, Sadie Engelhart won the biggest high school athletics awards that you can win, right? It's every sport, it's every state, it's every like Olympic trial throw in, like all of that is thrown in, and Gatorade picks one male and one female athlete each year. Cooper Flagg wins for the men, Sadie Engelhart wins for the women. And if you watch the ESPYs, they read off some of the winners of that award, and it was Candace Parker, LeBron James, and like every name they mentioned was a massive name. So it is great company to be, and they're both coming to the Triangle, right? So maybe NC State track and field getting a little pop of celebrity from the Gatorade National Female Player of the Year. And, of course, Duke getting a bit of pop of celebrity from Cooper Flagg, but we kind of already anticipated that.
Been getting that pop.
Yeah. Sadie Engelhart, though. Number one, I mean, sometimes that stuff's just unfathomable, right? Most people get excited when you're, like, all conference in high school, right? When you're, like, the team unsung player and they give you a little trophy, you're like, all right, it was a good season. Imagine being the best female athlete or male athlete in the entire country. You go to the ESPYs where it's like hosted by Serena Williams, celebrities, and every music and everything else is going on, and then you walk up and you're one of the honorees. And you're 17 years old. How's that taste?
Pinch me.
Yeah, seriously.
I can imagine just being in that room as a young athlete, 17, 18 years old, just that experience in that moment. What's it got to step like on stage, national audience,
I
and
did
all
notice,
the idols, like people that you idolize as athletes, are all surrounding you, applauding you.
I did notice that there's a less of a celebrity presence. There's like when we were a little bit younger, I remember there would be like Hollywood, there'd be movie stars and musicians. There's a little bit less of that, but the athletes still show up, and that's good enough for me to get starstruck as a high schooler. But it didn't seem like there was as much like, oh, there's the cast of Friends or whatever it used to be in like 2004. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. You know who wasn't at the ESPYs, I think? Because he was probably in a gym getting yoked, getting ready for a make-or-break season. Former Duke quarterback Daniel Jones. Is he on the hottest seat in the NFL? Coming up next.
It's the summer of soccer.
Swiderski for Capetti. It's stolen away by Hack. Kept alive by Gaines. A shot. He scores!
All the saves.
Polina with brilliant, quick footwork across his 6-yard box to be able to recover and grab the strike from Kubo.
All the goals.
He just sends it back into the area for Swiderski. One touch. He scores!
The Triangle's home for Charlotte FC action. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle sports leader.
Want to keep your gas-powered engines running like new? Stable's proprietary formulas are proven by third-party testing to outperform the competition in keeping fuel fresh, preventing corrosion, and cleaning the entire fuel system. With Stable, you can have confidence you are doing the right thing for your engine's long-term health. Just pour into your gas can or fuel tank, then top off with fresh fuel. At every fill-up or when you store, start with Stable. Available where fuel additives are sold.
Spectrum Internet has enough speed to handle all your needs, so you can work, game, and stream with speeds up to a gig. Plus, Spectrum's advanced Wi-Fi provides enhanced security for all your connected devices. Get Spectrum Internet with fast and reliable speeds, starting at just $29.99 a month with a 2-year price guarantee. Visit spectrum.com/internet for you for full details. Offer subject to change, valid for qualified residential customers only. Restrictions apply.
Theater Raleigh presents Bull Durham, a new musical playing Reynolds Industries Theater in Durham, September 10th through the 22nd. Based on the classic movie, follow Crash Davis and his Durham Bulls story in a new genre. Details and ticket info at theaterraleigh.com.
Bobby Joe absolutely hated her job.
Can't hate that job any more than I do.
So, time for one of those fancy tech schools?
No, I could never afford that. I'm going to Sharky's.
Sharky's?
Yeah, no better place to relax. Great food, cold beer, good whiskey, darts, billiards.
So now you love your job?
No, I still hate my job, but I loves me some Sharky's. I highly recommend it.
Yeah, everybody loves Sharky's. Sharky's Place, one of the best neighborhood bars in the world. 5800 Durley Road by the Shell Station.
What are you doing?
Eating caviar, yuck. Get this. Supreme 7 scratch-offs from the North Carolina Education Lottery have the best odds to win $400 with a $4 million top prize. So I'm learning to enjoy rich people stuff.
Okay, let me try. Gross. What's next?
Ballroom dancing.
I'll lead.
New Supreme 7s, a shot at supreme riches. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning are 1 in 4.18. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Let me talk to those of you who are contact lens wearers. Are you tired of wasting time and money every day, putting them in, taking them out, cleaning, ordering new ones, glasses, prescription sunglasses? I could go on and on. Dr. Lori Travers and Travers LASIK are your answers to my question. In just 5 minutes per eye, Dr. Lori can put you on the path to 20/20 vision. Plus, it's totally painless. You can go back to work the next day. And 2 years, 0 interest financing is available. And we're throwing in $1,000 off. Now the hard part. You actually have to pick up the phone. 919-510-6830. Make the call now. The consultation is free. You could go online, traverslasik.com, but you can call 919-510-6830, 919-510-6830. Go to 20/20 vision in less than 10 minutes. Dr. Lori Travers, Travers LASIK. See what you've been missing.
The Adam Gold Show.
While I'm watching Colombia-Uruguay, not only the end of that match, but the fight in the stands after it.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Heard it got spicy.
A horrible, horrible look. But that was the most excited fans we have seen in 5 years at Bank of America Stadium. Man, look at all the happy people at Bank of America.
Just took the other kind of football.
Yeah, there you go. More of that.
The Adam Gold Show, weekdays starting at noon on 99.9 The Fan. This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm Injury Lawyers.
He scores! What a comeback!
Visit GotBryan.com. That's GotBryan.com.
WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on radio, web, app, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WREL meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. The rain continues to come at us for the rest of the afternoon. It is a WREL weather alert day. We have a flood watch in effect. We could see 1.5 to 3 inches of rain through the rest of the afternoon. Cooler, though, with a high of 83. Mid-70s tonight under cloudy skies. We may start with a few isolated showers or storms Saturday, and then a bit of clearing with a high of 91.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 4 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones is up 237 points to 39,991. Market update brought to you by The Good Feet Store. Ready to step into a healthy and active lifestyle? Come to The Good Feet Store and experience the difference. Discover how a simple step can lead to a life of pain-free possibilities.
Let's move the chains. Time for football at 4.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we talk a little football at 4, let's talk a little baseball next Monday at 8. 99.9 The Fan is your place to enjoy the Home Run Derby and MLB All-Star Game. Listen for live pitch-by-pitch coverage starting Monday night at 8, presented by Gatorade. Monday night at 8, right here, 99.9 The Fan. Now, 4 o'clock Friday on 99.9 The Fan, we have football at 4. Is Daniel Jones' seat the hottest in the NFL? Daniel Jones, former Duke quarterback, very highly paid quarterback, by the way. If he's not a legit starting caliber franchise quarterback in the NFL, good on him for convincing someone that he might be long enough to make about $100 million. Daniel Jones made $46 million last year. He'll get another $36 million in cash this year. And then the Giants have an out. $22 million in dead cap if they dead cap space, dead cap money. If they move on from him after this season, isn't that bad. And you know what? I wonder that the access that we're being given to teams I mean, the blueprint with the Panthers is a great example, right? They're showing us what the draft process was like. Hard Knocks with the Giants, they're showing us what their offseason is like. We never got that before. And you know what that means? The front office used to be able to lie to players. Who'd you talk to? Did you talk to Drake May at the Combine and then try to trade up to number 3 to get him? Of course not, Daniel.
No.
We're all in.
No, we paid you.
You go to Duke, you think we would be talking to a UNC quarterback behind your back?
Come on.
Of course not. And then he'd be like, I watched Hard Knocks. And they'd be like, well, yeah, we did all of those things we said we didn't do. But in our defense, we didn't think you were going to find out. We thought we were doing it behind your back. But now they have cameras and microphones everywhere. How are we supposed to do our job? The Giants talked to all the top quarterbacks. They talked to Caleb Williams. They talked to Jaden Daniels. They talked to Drake May. They talked to J.J. McCarthy. And they didn't just talk to him. They talked about him a lot when they weren't around, right? They had the conversations in the draft room. They had the conversations in the GM's office. They talked about how Daniel Jones is coming off an injury, and they can't wait for him to be healthy to have a quarterback, so they might as well consider drafting a top quarterback, a.k.a. Daniel's replacement. So even though they elected not to, right, they didn't end up drafting one of those top guys. They did talk to the Patriots about trading up to number 3 overall, but even though they elected in the end not to make that happen, or maybe the Patriots rebuffed them, we'll never know. But just because it didn't happen doesn't mean that doesn't show how quickly and comfortably they'll move on, right? I don't know. Like we talk about quarterbacks and teams, quarterbacks and head coaches, quarterbacks and GMs as kind of like the best metaphor for it is like a dating relationship, right? And the long-term $50+ million a year contract is the equivalent of a wedding ring, right? That's you're married. Well, Daniel Jones is like engaged, but now he's seen his significant other at the bar without the ring on a bunch of times and going like, I didn't go home with anyone. Like, well, that's just because you didn't find anyone you liked enough. It's not because you weren't out there trying.
We were just chatting.
I didn't have my ring on. I went to the bar. I didn't tell you where I was. And I talked to a bunch of interesting gentlemen. I didn't go home with them. It's like, yeah, it's just because you couldn't make it work. If I'm Daniel Jones, you got to pull out all the stops. You want to save the relationship, what do you got to do? Come home with bouquets of touchdown passes, right? You need to stop at the gas station on the way home, pick up the card, scribble a nice little note inside. You got to pull out all the stops. Surprise chores, right? I vacuumed while you were gone. Drew Lock was brought in. Drew Lock's making $5 million to back up a guy who's making $40 million. That's an interesting decision there. The writing is on the wall, and this is what it says to Daniel Jones. Show up this season or get out. Show up this season or you'll be playing to use another UNC quarterback, the Mitch Trubisky bounce around, right? Go back up a stud, maybe get a competition with a rookie, maybe get to go somewhere else and back someone else up. Like that's where Daniel Jones goes from here if he doesn't show up this season. And I think he knows it. Some clips out there. Now, I know. It's best shape of your life season.
Oh, yes. Gotta love best shape of your life season.
Everybody's in the best shape of their lives.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody is eating healthier. Everyone, do you know what is my favorite? And my favorite is he started working out in sand when they start doing this. He's doing footwork in sand. I'm like, oh, you mean he took a beach vacation? And while before he hit the happy hour, he did a couple times, a couple ladders in the sand, right before floating on a floating bar for the rest of the day. He's built up his calves and quickness by running in the deep sand of the Caribbean. Oh, is that what he was doing? By the way, I don't know if that's what Daniel Jones is doing. That's just a trope that you hear during this season of the NFL. Everyone's in the best shape of their lives. Daniel Jones looks like it. Saw some clips. QB Country posted the clips. By the way, they're working with a bunch of quarterbacks. Working with Riley Leonard. That like QB Country is one of those QB guru like coaching firms. posted a couple clips of Daniel Jones. I don't know about you, but I never looked at Daniel Jones in the past and went like, oh, that dude's swole, right? Might look at him and think like, oh, he's a sneaky athlete, right? Oh, remember that one time he had an 80-yard touchdown run and he fell on his face? Like, there's a few things that you say when you see Daniel Jones. Not once it had been like, wow, it's a big dude, even though he's kind of tall. He looks a little he's done some work in the weight room. I think he understands, got to be able to put up with the beating of an NFL schedule, the whole thing. No injuries. Do what you can. They gave him a little bit of help. They went and got Malik Neighbors. 6th overall pick. Think about that pivot on draft day. Should we draft the replacement to our quarterback? Nah. Let's get him an elite number 1 option instead. There's a lot of emphasis on helping the offensive line, but they didn't do as much as I would have liked. Here's the other part that I didn't bring up. On Hard Knocks, their offseason Hard Knocks, this line was spoken by the GM during their conversations about should they keep Saquon Barkley. Right, so the Giants had to decide whether they were going to keep or re-sign to a big deal Saquon Barkley, or whether they were going to let him test the open market and almost certainly lose him. They let him test the open market, and he signed a big money deal with Philadelphia, which has to sting. The GM, Joe Shane, said this. We aren't paying Daniel Jones $40 million to hand it off to a $12 million running back. First of all, heck of a point, well delivered, right?
It's an expensive handoff.
Very succinct, straight to the point, honest, accurate, very well executed. That's a challenge to Daniel Jones because they pretty much did pay him $40 million to hand it off to an elite running back last year. And when they went on their playoff run 2 years ago, that got Daniel Jones his buzz and got him his contract. A lot of that was getting it to Saquon Barkley as often as possible. So now with his back against the wall, hottest seat in the NFL, quarterbacks, they're until they get that long-term $50+ million a year contract, their job is never secured. He has to be better than he's been with less surefire help around him. Obviously, Malik Neighbors will probably be the best wide receiver he's played with, but he's losing Saquon Barkley. He's losing that breath, right? Things get a little crazy. All right, let's call a handoff. Things get a little crazy. All right, let's call a screen pass. Let's take the decision-making process out of the quarterback's hands and let Saquon bail him out. That's not going to be there anymore. I like Devin Singletary as a running back. I don't pretend to put him in the same category as Saquon Barkley. Daniel Jones, hottest seat in the NFL. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Let's go ahead and take a break, but when we come back, talking past tense already, when we come back, what was the best move the Canes have made this spring? I asked that question yesterday on air. I didn't answer it well enough. I take another swing at it coming up next.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
Jerry Jones would walk away happy if they won a Super Bowl. But is that really his marker of success? Is hoisting the Lombardi Trophy really what Jerry Jones views as a successful season? Or is it his profit margin year to year? I don't know if he's really viewing it as I need to make sure to lock up XYZ players in order for us to be in the best position to compete for a Super Bowl.
Mornings from 6 to 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
You're not going to want to miss this. Diamonds Direct summer sale starts next weekend. For 3 days only, next Friday through Sunday, get 20% off. Rings, earrings, pendants, bracelets, and more. Plus, book an appointment and get an additional $100 off. And designers are flying in from New York and LA to showcase their latest trends. That's 20% off, plus $100 off with an appointment and designer trunk shows. Tons of engagement rings on sale, too. 20% off starts next Friday. Details at diamondsdirect.com.
Hungry for flavor and value? Then it's Bo time. Nothing slays the hunger beast like some of that bodacious Bojangles flavor. And there's never been a better time to satisfy your Bojangles sandwich cravings than now. With Bojangles summer sandwich lineup, You can choose a flavorful Cajun fried chicken filet sandwich, or a tender Cajun grilled chicken filet sandwich, or a crispy Cajun filet club sandwich, or a tasty Bo's chicken sandwich. Make it a sandwich combo and add your choice of a side. Maybe Bojangles seasoned fries, dirty rice, or Cajun pintos. And to complete the perfect meal, Bojangles legendary iced tea. There's a Bojangles sandwich combo for everyone in the family. Summer just doesn't get any better than that. What are you waiting for? You know you're hungry, and you know you want flavor and value. So, it's Bojangles Sandwich Combo time.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer, he hears things differently. To the untrained ear, everything on his shop floor might sound fine, but he can hear gears grinding or a belt slipping. So he steps in to fix the problem at hand before it gets out of hand. And he knows Grainger's got the right product he needs to get the job done, which is music to his ears. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
A few contest rules from sports radio stations The Fan, The Buzz. No purchase necessary, 21 to enter and play. Limited to 1 entry per person and 1 prize winner per family or household per contest every 30 days. Employees of Capital Broadcasting, its agencies, sponsors, subsidiaries, other broadcast companies, and immediate families of the above are ineligible to play. Winners are verified, complete documentation, and are responsible for all taxes and prizes received. All prizes are non-transferable and cannot be redeemed for cash. Winners give sports radio the right to publicize his or her name, likeness, or voice. Sports may change contest rules and prizes at any time and holds no liability for canceled or postponed events. Complete info of sports radio contests available at WRALSportsFan.com or during normal business hours at 3100 Highwoods Boulevard in Raleigh.
It would be the best story, not only in tennis, but maybe in sports.
We were just 2 young black girls playing in Compton. This is not normally how that story goes. I looked different. I played different. I was more emotional. I was better. I was stronger. I had muscles. I was something that no one had ever seen before, ever.
Stream the ESPN Plus original series, In the Arena, Serena Williams, presented by Morgan Stanley, now on ESPN Plus.
Hi, this is Renee Chu. The most trusted local news in the Triangle is now on the radio, WRAL News Plus. Now get breaking news and severe weather reports on the radio 24 hours a day. Listen on the radio at 96.5 FM in Durham, 99.3 FM in Raleigh, and everywhere in the Triangle at 101.5 HD3.
This is The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan. So yesterday, I said on air that what we're about to talk about would be a good question to answer. I was like, oh, that's a good discussion to have. And then I avoided it because it's a hard question. So with a day, I thought I'd come back and I'd give it another go. What is the best move the Canes have made all spring? What is the best move the Canes have made all spring? ESPN, in their offseason recap of the Canes, gave them a C-, and in their all-loving snark, right, in their contempt, they said this. But hey, the Hurricanes got a third-round pick from Tampa Bay for Gensel's signing rights, and that's about the best move they've made all spring. And my first reaction was, there's no way. That's not the best move they made all spring. And I said, but that'd be a good question to answer. And then we moved on and we never went back to it. So let's ask, what is the best move the Canes have made all spring? First of all, let's bring up some contenders, right? I really like the Jalen Chatfield signing. I really like the Shane Gostisbehere signing. I really like the Sean Walker signing. I like that they bring back Martin Nook. I would have liked it at a little bit less money. Actually, I guess you could say that for every contract. I'd like for them all to be a little bit less money.
Whatever. It's not my money. sign on however much you want.
But zero-sum game, right? For every dollar you don't spend on player A, you got more to spend on player B, C, D, E, F, G, all the way down the rest of the line.
I'm happy he got what he got.
I'm happy for Martinook, don't get me wrong. I'm just looking at I'm just saying. That's why it won't be my choice. My choice is actually a reunion. Shane Gostisbehere, 3 years, $9.6 million. That's my choice for the best move they've made all spring. And for a few reasons. One, I like and it's a little different because Don Waddell moved on, so it's not the exact same front office, but I like the humility of it. I like that Gostisbehere was here, and for whatever reason, they couldn't make it work for him to stay here, chose to pay other guys, and then in the future, they had an opportunity to say, actually, he did fit what we do. We would like to have him back, and they weren't too proud, right? Sometimes you see that where it's like, no, he wasn't good enough. I told you, I was right when I let him walk. And then you never bring him back, even if it might be the right deal. Secondly, 3 years, $9.6 million. That allows him to significantly save money on the defense based on Shea and Pesci's salaries elsewhere, while also having a veteran around, who's been a part of the system already, so he already knows a few tricks of the trade. Right? The best move the Canes made all spring. I will admit they didn't make the splashiest moves in the world. Right? I will admit there's no it feels like the crown jewel is missing. But they're not looking for I don't even know what if re-signing Gensel to a long-term deal or something would have been the crown jewel. Getting a third-round pick for his rights from Tampa Bay still doesn't make the list of top 10 things they did this spring. And that here's a reference for you. On Fridays we always have a bunch of reference. Are you an Elton John fan, Dennis?
Not really.
No?
There's a couple songs I like, but not.
That's fair.
Not gonna go. Let's listen to Elton John.
Well, you should.
I don't.
He apparently does not love Crocodile Rock, right? It's his song, probably made a bunch of money off of it. There's probably a bunch of merchandise he sells that says Crocodile Rock with an alligator, but that's not his go-to, right? I think he would be a little insulted if you were like, best song he's ever had, Crocodile Rock, right? Because it's like, no. You're discrediting all the legit, come on, right? You're discrediting all of these classics that Daniel, your song, on and on and on and on. We could keep going, but we don't have to. Saying that the best move they made all spring was getting a third-rounder for Jake Gensel is insulting the rest of their catalog of things they did. Like the Sean Walker deal, right? Again, allows you to get cheaper in defense, right? Cheaper on the defensive side of the ice, which maybe allowed you to be more comfortable paying Slavin, which maybe made you a little bit more comfortable to do some things up front. Maybe just makes you more comfortable in your cap space moving forward. And you still have two veterans to replace Shea and Pesci in Walker and Gostisbehere. The Chatfield contract I love. There's by getting it in the wrong order, you're insulting a little bit there. What's your best move they made, Dennis? Did I bring it up? Was it something that I said?
I think my best move, I think it's actually the Sean Walker.
Yeah. So it's similar.
It's very similar. I think that he being Sean Walker actually might be someone that actually plays in your top four. It would not surprise me if Gostisbehere is back with Chatfield. It would not surprise me if Sean Walker is up there with Dmitry Orlov as a pair. It would not surprise me to see that. I think
I'm sure they'll try it out.
And so for me, it's again not super expensive, but also you got that long term moving forward. So
5
I think
years.
that to me, the Sean Walker signing might be my number one this offseason. If that's not it, it's bringing back Jordan Martinook.
Really?
Yes.
At 3.05?
I think
per?
Yeah. I thought he was going to make, if he on the open market was probably going to get somewhere between 2.5 to 3. So I mean, they paid market value for him.
If it's 2.5, they 3.05. They gave him an extra $50K.
Okay, extra $50K. Good for him.
Hey, $50K is nothing to scoff at.
No, it's not.
For them, maybe.
I'll take it.
For them, maybe. And obviously, he still gets to keep cashing in on the beer.
You do that.
And by the way, like we talked off air about like the Jacob Slavin extension being the best move they made all spring. I almost look at that as like, did you have to make that decision? Like, that's just to do it, right? That's like, you know, do you need to have was it a decision for me not to kick the door in and instead use the handle when I walked into the studio? It's like, no, that's just common sense. You use the handle, you walk in. Like, did you make a decision to sign Jacob Slavin to an 8-year contract, or is it just like, no, that's common sense. You grab the handle and you open the door. So that's not really a decision as much as it is just smart, basic acting as a front office. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. I do want to talk briefly here about a giant in scheming of football that passed away. Monty Kiffin passed away. Former NC State coach, former NC State head coach. Most people outside of the NC State bubble will remember Monty Kiffin as a defensive coordinator in the NFL. Probably most importantly as the defensive coordinator of the early 2000s Tampa Bay Buccaneers that went on to win a Super Bowl and had a bunch of good years and really turned John Gruden into a celebrity, and Derek Brooks and Warren Sapp and Simeon Rice and Rondé Barber and that whole crew. I say this, he's in the running. Now, I know there are others, and I'm sure, Dennis, you would bring up Dick LeBeau. From the college ranks, I know many would bring up Bud Foster from Virginia Tech. Monty Kiffin is in the running for best defensive coordinator in the history of the sport. Right? We can argue that, but now's not the time for it. He's in the running for the best defensive coordinator in the history of football. And in a weird way that I'm going to explain, NC State can take a little bit of credit for it in a strange way. Monty Kiffin had one stint as a head coach. He coached for decades, right? I'm talking, and had a lot of success for decades, okay? He had one stint as a head coach. It was for 3 years at NC State in 1980, 1981, and 1982. He went 16-17 over those 3 seasons, but did have 2 winning seasons. Went 6-5 in his first and last year between 80 and 82. I don't know what happened in those 3 years, but it seems like something hit Kiffin about being a head coach that did not rub him the right way, right? Something that made it so it wasn't his all-time goal to get back in the head coaching chair. And that may have unlocked one of, if not the greatest defensive coordinator in the history of football to just ride that wave, right? There's actually, he was kind of, I did some wormhole going down on the internet today. He was an interesting head coach at NC State. I found separate pictures online. One was tweeted out by Jay Jennings, who actually, I believe, used to do some work with WRAL. A picture from a pep rally at NC State where, to get everybody fired up, Monty Kiffin was the head coach of the football team, jumped out of a helicopter that was reportedly only 3 feet off the ground, which does seem like that may have been an overpromise, underdeliver. Show up to the pep rally today at 3. The head coach is going to jump out of a helicopter, and everybody's thinking like,
"Oh, he's a real daredevil!"
Like, "Oh my God, this is going to be a parachute. He's going to be coming. This is going to be crazy." Helicopter lowers to table height, and he kind of hops out. Hey, I don't know, but he did it. There's another picture from Tim Peeler, Pack Tim Peeler, tweeted it out. Monty Kiffin wearing a red, there was like a hat with the bandana, like a kerchief, jacket, little ensemble. He was riding a white horse that he apparently once galloped from Mission Valley Shopping Center to NC State's campus for a pregame pep rally.
So, basically, crossed over Western Boulevard, right where WRAL is. Just crossed over Western Boulevard, went down the road a little bit.
On a white horse.
Here he is.
The head
knight in
football
shining
coach.
armor. Let's go. I want more coaches doing this. Bring this back. I want more coaches doing it now. With social media, I want this. Gosh, College game day, running right down the quad or galloping down on your white horse. Make it happen, Dave Doran.
Do you know what it feels like, though? And this might have been why, and there's a bunch of reasons for it, but some guys are just better coordinators than head coaches. It's just that
and that's okay.
100%. And you can leave a legacy. We'll talk about what Monty Kiffin's legacy is as far as scheming in a second. But you can leave a legacy as one of the best coordinators ever without thirsting to be a head coach. Some guys, when they get in that spotlight, that head coach spotlight, they do start acting different, right? Monty Kiffin as a coordinator seemed like a fun guy behind the scenes, right? Like he'd dance at a practice to make everybody laugh, old guy dancing, ha, ha, ha. But he was like a football guy, right? No nonsense. Let's play. Let's get to work. As soon as he becomes a head coach, he's on horses. He's jumping at I see it in this business sometimes where I'll talk to somebody right outside this door about sports, and it'll be super insightful. It'll be super entertaining. I'll go oh, great, let's go do that. Let's go jump on air. We get on air, and suddenly they're wackadoodles, oop-a-doo, putting on this big performance. And I'm going no. Do the thing you were doing out there. What is this? Why are you doing an impression right now? And I don't know who you're doing an impression of. Where is this coming from? Monty Kiffin as a head coach seemed like a hoot and a half, blasting the glass. As a defensive coordinator, he just seemed like maybe the best coach in the country. So maybe that's what he learned, right? Whatever he learned at NC State that made it so every time the Tampa Bay Buccaneers had the number one defense in the NFL, he didn't jump at whatever the next offer was to be a head coach. Whatever he learned early in his career that allowed that to happen allowed him to develop, I think, as one of the best coaches to be on the defensive side of the football. Now, if you're going, well, why was he such a good coordinator? If any of you, even if you don't know what it means, you've probably heard the Tampa 2 defense.
You've probably seen it playing Madden.
Yeah, exactly. Tampa 2. That's actually a great example. Probably seen it playing college football, which comes out tomorrow.
In a week.
I think some advanced copies might be out today.
Oh, lucky them.
But I could be making that up. Tampa 2, right? Oh, we're going to play Tampa 2. Oh, why are we playing Tampa 2? All the linebackers playing Tampa 2. That was invented by Monty Kiffin when he was the defensive coordinator at Tampa. He had Derek Brooks, who was a linebacker that could run. It allowed him to run a different defense. I could explain it to you, but it just means the middle linebacker is playing the deep middle third of the I'm really simplifying it, but the deep middle third of the field, which was something iconic. It changed the game. Everybody runs it now. Think about that. You have a good idea in your office right now, and within 10 years, everyone in your industry is copying you. Every single person in your industry that does your job is copying you.
Or they're modifying it in some way, shape, or form.
They have that page in their playbook. And then, then nowadays there's a billion different kinds. Different players, different setups, different disguises. It's a whole thing. But he created the Tampa 2 defense. Made the Bucs a Super Bowl champion in the process. The irony is John Gruden gets this credit as he was an offensive mastermind. The Super Bowl he won, right? He's the quarterback whisperer. Spider 2, Y banana. Before all the controversies he got in, he was the quarterback guy. He did the quarterback camps for pre-draft, right? He won a Super Bowl because Monty Kiffin was a defensive genius, and he happened to work for him. Turned Derek Brooks into one of the best linebackers of all time. And that led to a billion imitators. There's a ton of defensive coordinators out there right now whose base defense is the Tampa 2, or whose kind of idea of defense started with, we can use linebackers in a different way. All you can trace a line from what he did to all of the hybrids now, the safety linebacker hybrids, the jokers, the stars, that's what they call them, because they're not linebackers, but they're not safeties. What do I call it? A joker, a star, a warrior, whatever those are your deal uses, whatever your scheme uses. A lot of that traces right back to Monty Kiffin and the fact that he was able to be maybe the best defensive coordinator in the game. There you go. Right now, as we move on, by the way, rest in peace, pass along support to, obviously his sons are both coaches. Lane is the head coach at Ole Miss. His son Chris, I believe, is on the Houston Texans coaching staff. To his whole community, his family, his friends, we pass along thoughts and support and everything else appropriate with the time. To transition here quickly, text keyword music, MUSIC, to 919-860-5326 for your chance to win a pair of tickets to see Third Eye Blind at Coastal Credit Union Music Park on July 21st. Today's your last day, right? We do these giveaways usually for a week. So next week we'll have something else to give away. Text keyword music, MUSIC, to 919-860-5326 for your chance to win a pair of tickets to see Third Eye Blind at Coastal Credit Union Music Park on July 21st. I'm going to withhold from Friday could get a little weird.
Okay.
But I'm going to withhold from singing some Third Eye Blind. I
That's
did
fine.
that on Monday.
That's acceptable. You holding back from singing Third Eye Blind. That's acceptable.
Thank you. You sound so hurt.
I'm not.
Keyword music to 919-860-5326. Let's hit the Storm Tracker. Storm Tracker is the part of the show every day about this time. We talk rumors, right? We hear what's on the grapevine, right? What's the haps? What's the happening about the Carolina Hurricanes offseason, the free agency, the offer sheets, everything else that could possibly be out there. Dennis, what rumor are we talking about today?
So the Montreal Canadiens, the people that cover the Montreal Canadiens, the fan blogs and all those kinds of things, apparently now they're all back in, apparently, Martin Necas. So now this is, according to journalist and insider from The Athletic, Pierre LeBrun, an unidentified team has an offer on the table that almost meets all of the Canes' demands, saying, quote, the situation surrounding Carolina Hurricanes forward Martin Necas seems on the verge of reaching its conclusion.
All right.
Which means, potentially, I don't know, that the Montreal Canadiens are all in on this.
Here's the interesting part of this, and here's maybe the depressing part of this, so let's all have a Friday pick-me-up. There was a point in time where I was like, I don't know how they're going to be able to handle all of the offers on Martin Necas. When it felt like they had 6 kind of fish on the line and they were going to play them against each other. Now you're saying there's one team with a serious offer that gets close to all of their demands, and I'm going like, accept it. Maybe not accept it, but it's nice to know there's still nibbles out there, right? I mean, to use the fishing analogy, sometimes if you've been just casting and reeling in and casting and reeling in and getting no business, just getting like a nibble or getting someone that hits the bait or hits the lure, even if it doesn't hook, makes you feel good because you're just like, all right, good. There's still fish out there, right? There's still interest out there. It did feel like the interest in Martin Necas had waned almost to a stop. Maybe not to a complete stop, but it felt like the faucet was down to a trickle. So it's good to know that there's someone out there with a legitimate offer, right?
Apparently, allegedly.
Or it's good, yeah. I mean, we're talking rumors here. I prefaced it by saying it's rumors.
Yeah.
It's good to hear that there's a legitimate offer out there, right? Just having the one is nice. Now, getting the second on the line is big because then you can start talking to them about each other. Well, actually, got this other one, so I don't need you. But it opens up that line, that possibility again. Because I had pretty much resigned my thoughts to Martin Necas is probably going to be one of the better scorers on the second line for the Carolina Hurricanes, right? I assumed he was going to come back, and I thought this is going to be one of Rod's challenges that he has to probably have a heart-to-heart at some point with Necas about everything that was done and said this offseason and why they need to get to hockey. And maybe now there is a possibility for that conversation not to have to happen.
Right? I feel like the more we go along, the more likely he stays.
I agree, 100%.
Every day I'm like, no, he's not going anywhere.
There's a lot of teams have filled their right. They couldn't wait around forever. Martin Necas supposedly had turned down. This is again rumors and speculation, which is what we do here during the Storm Tracker portion of the show. But he had turned down a few opportunities where the Canes may have had a trade close to happening, but he wasn't willing to negotiate and sign an extended contract with the team that he would have been traded to. So then they're not going to trade for him with that knowledge. So there's been some snags along the way. I do think this is, I would say, barreling towards signing whatever comes about during arbitration and playing out this year under kind of the pretense of we don't have to like each other. We just have to be good for each other.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You don't have to want to be here. We don't have to necessarily want you here. But while you're here, try to score as many goals as you can and build your value. That makes it easier for everyone. I don't know if that's the best environment to like produce the best, but it happens, right? I've seen angry athletes go on runs. Or actually, you know what it could be? You know what this should be? I just thought of the perfect example.
Okay.
In the probably mid to early teens, Kirk Cousins was the quarterback of Washington, and he did not like the front office offers for money. They were not on the same page. He thought he was worth more. He thought he should be doing this. He thought he should be treated this way. Front office didn't agree. So what did Kirk Cousins do? He went out there, won games, played well, and every time he walked off the field, what did he yell? You got it? Do you have it?
Like that?
Yeah, there it is.
You like that?
I don't know if everybody knows who he was yelling at when he was screaming you like that. It wasn't at like the haters. It wasn't at the naysayers up in the stands. It wasn't at the fantasy football players that were in his DMs saying, hey, you're losing me money every week. It wasn't. He was yelling that at his own front office, right? You don't think I'm worth it? You like that after a big play, after a big win. He was yelling it at his own front office. You know what I kind of hope happens? I hope Martin Necas scores a goal a game, and every time he's skating off the ice, he's looking up at the front office going, you like that? And they're going to go, yes, we like it quite a bit.
Actually, yeah.
Continue doing that, please. Especially because we figured out that he's likely under Kane's control for another year after this.
Yeah, 2 more years of control.
So the Canes are going, yes, do that, build value, we'll trade you. It'll be happy as all heck for everybody. So I hope. I didn't expect to get here during Storm Tracker. Didn't expect to get to this point. I hope Martin Necas is like Kirk Cousins.
And thing about Kirk Cousins as well is that he was franchise tagged twice in back-to-back seasons. He's like, fine, that's fine. I'll keep balling out. You're going to pay me, and I'm going to go ball out. And then I'm going to get paid in 2 other places I go to.
And if you're Martin Necas, listen, we're not making fun of Kirk Cousins here. He's a business. The guy's made a boatload of money.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you can do very well for yourself by spitefully playing well to your team right now and taking it out on the opponents. You can score a goal a game, and I promise you'll be a rich, rich, rich man. And I'm exaggerating a little bit, but you know what I mean. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Speaking of paying bills, here's Dennis Cox.
Hey, Dennis Cox here for my friends over at Law Tigers. You know, thinking about motorcycle safety, especially on days like today where it's pouring down rain, probably not the best day to take the bike out. I was actually thinking, man, when do I get the chance to ride the bike again? Weather's been terrible. That's all goes into motorcycle safety, just like the gear that you wear. Are you wearing the proper armor underneath your clothing? Are you wearing the proper riding shoes? You don't go riding out there in T-shirts and shorts, folks. It's not a good thing for you. Make sure your helmet and everything is up to par. Make sure you're wearing something that's legal when it comes to your helmet. There are different laws in every single state, including here in North Carolina. There's a certain type of helmet that you are required to wear. So make sure everything is up to par before you get on the bike. Make sure your bike is in proper working order. These are all things to make sure you are safe when out there on your motorcycle. But sometimes you could do all the right things. It's no different than when you're driving a car. You do all the right things. Accidents, unfortunately, still do happen. If you are injured in a motorcycle accident, call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS before you call your insurance company. The insurance company wants to pay you the least amount possible. The Law Tigers, they're riders too. They understand what your bike and your gear are worth and what you're going through after an accident. Your case evaluation with Law Tigers is always free, and they do not get paid until your case settles. So call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS, North Carolina's motorcycle lawyers. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, gets to real, bold predictions. Coming up next.
The Adam Gold Show.
While I'm watching Colombia, Uruguay, not only the end of that match, but the fight in the stands after it.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Heard it got spicy.
A horrible, horrible look. But that was the most excited fans we have seen in 5 years at Bank of America Stadium. Man, look at all the happy people at Bank of America.
Just took the other kind of football.
Yeah, there you go. More of that.
The Adam Gold Show, weekdays starting at noon on 99.9 The Fan.
Paid for by government. Did you hear? A secret hoard of 1904 $20 Gold Liberty coins have been found. These gorgeous 1904p gold coins are as bright and shiny as the day they were struck, and less than 500 of these gold coins are available. Coin experts are calling this secret U.S. gold coin discovery a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and you can own a piece of the hoard. When you call, you are guaranteed a 1904 Gold Liberty struck at the iconic Philadelphia Mint. With limited availability, you must call now. These 1904 dated gold coins are still in uncirculated condition with brilliant luster. That is 120 years of history you can hold in your hand. To learn more, call 1-800-895-7664. Call now and you'll receive a free bonus, a $75 value free with every order. Call 1-800-895-7664 now to secure your 1904p $20 Gold Liberty coins before they sell out. That's 1-800-895-7664.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the third time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GI Bill.
This is Monster Jam. Witness big air, two-wheel skills, backflips, and all-out racing. It's the only place to see the world's best riders tear up the dirt in your favorite Monster Jam trucks like Gravedigger, El Toro Loco, Megalodon, and more. It's big-time fun for the whole family. Monster Jam, as big as it gets. Coming to PNC Arena July 27th and 28th. Brought to you by BKT Tires and Gray Clips. Visit monsterjam.com today.
That'll be 30 even.
That's 90 points! Sorry, that was a lot. Now that I'm getting 3 times the points on food and fuel with the Navy Federal More Rewards American Express card, I get a little too hyped sometimes.
Cool. Would you like your receipt?
In the bag! Sorry, in the bag, please.
Learn more about the everyday, everywhere Navy Federal More Rewards American Express card at NavyFederal.org. Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission. Navy Federal is insured by NCUA.
Hey, what are you doing up on the step stool?
About to clean these light fixtures. The whole family's coming over, and if there's even a speck of dust in the house, my abuela will find it.
Here, I got a Swiffer duster to help with that.
A Swiffer what?
A Swiffer duster. It has this cool extendable handle that reaches 6 feet to get high and low, with fluffy dusters that easily trap and lock dust.
So, no more step stool?
No more step stool.
Easily trap and lock dust from hard-to-reach places with the Swiffer duster. Love it or your money back.
Move your sports day forward.
Players get gaslit in arbitration. You relive every turnover, every lost battle in the corner, every missed shot, because this is about getting paid. But it's also, on the team's end, about getting under the cap.
Get set up. Join Next Up with Paul Ihander. Mornings at 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. 99.9 The Fan is your place to enjoy the Home Run Derby and MLB All-Star Game. Listen for live pitch-by-pitch coverage starting Monday night at 8, presented by Gatorade. You a Home Run Derby guy, Dennis?
Yeah, I'd check it out kind of passively, but sure.
Do you know what is one of the, hokiest, people don't like it, kind of cringiest things that I absolutely love?
What's that?
Chris Berman announcing the Home Run Derby.
Nope. No thanks.
Back. I understand why no one else likes it.
Squawking.
There's something back. There's something nostalgic about it for me. I absolutely love it. Give me Griffey, give me McGuire, give me Josh Hamilton, give me Prince Fielder with Chris Berman, back, and I'm all in. I'm all in. You know what's the fun part about this as we go into real bold predictions?
What's that?
I wanted to put a home run derby real bold predictions in there. No idea who's in it. No idea who's I'm getting Judge is the best home run hitter. I can't imagine he's in the
probably not
the derby.
Ohtani's not in it either.
That guy should never do anything other than whatever's in play for his team because of injuries. So I'm just gonna let's start real bold predictions. Real bold predictions. Somebody hits a whole bunch. They break a record in the home run derby. Let's just say that somebody breaks a record.
Breaks a record?
Yeah. I think the format is different now. I don't even know if they can judge records. Furthest home run.
There we go.
I feel like that's probably like a phony record from 1913. They're like, it went 900 feet.
I think they should let them use corked bats in the home run derby. It doesn't matter. Use a corked bat.
I think, it should be like the money ball.
Yeah, let these things go.
Like your final out, you get to go grab the corked bat.
Yeah.
Right? You do the first minute with a regular bat, and then you get 30 seconds with a corked bat.
Use a corked bat.
You have to earn it, right? If you hit at least 20 home runs in round 1, round 2, you get the corked bat.
Let them use aluminum bats.
Ping!
Watch these things
dangerous.
Just launch.
They got all those kids running around shagging flies in the outfield, just taking 200-mile-per-hour heaters off of Air Attack 4.
Here's the thing. That ball ain't reaching the outfield or landing in the outfield. That thing's going out of the park.
Hitting. Where is the All-Star game?
Down in Texas, I believe. Is it where the Rangers play?
All right, so they're hitting the Dallas skyline?
Maybe. All the way down to Fort Worth. Let's go.
Austin catching a few. All right, real bold predictions here. This is where we've installed the bold enough bell and the not bold enough buzzer. I make a bold prediction that I think is bold. If it's not bold enough, I'll hear the buzzer. I have to make it more bold in real time until we hear the bold enough bell. Starting with this one, the Baltimore Ravens have their rookies reporting for reporting for training camp tomorrow. So it's football season starting tomorrow. On the Ravens, I think Keaton Mitchell, former ECU running back, scores 4 touchdowns. 4, F-O-U-R, touchdowns for Baltimore.
In the preseason?
Well, he's coming off the injury. I don't think he's going to play in the preseason.
Okay.
No, this season.
So
behind Derrick Henry. He's behind Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson. 5. All right. I was prepared to go to 6. He was unreal last year, but I do think the injury is going to slow him down in the first half. I think if he has 5 touchdowns, he'll have like 4 of them in the second half of the year, especially if Baltimore isn't doing all right in the standings and look like they're going to make the playoffs. I think they'll try to spell Derrick Henry a bit more in the second half of the season, preparing for the playoffs, and that's where Keaton Mitchell can come in as he gets healthy. ECU, though, do what I love about Keaton Mitchell? Bet on him darn self. He bet on his darn self. He left early and then went undrafted. And then still ended up playing as a rookie in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
That is like, I don't care what the situation is, I'm getting to the league. Let's put this into the universe. Bold prediction. Seth Jarvis, long-term contract signed. I'm giving till next Wednesday.
Next Wednesday?
By next Wednesday.
Okay, you might define next Wednesday than I do.
Like less than a week from now.
Okay, to me, that's this coming Wednesday. So by the 17th. Gotcha. So you think he's getting his long-term deal done by then?
Ooh. Tuesday? All right, that's the difference between bold. Sometimes we find the line, ladies and gentlemen. Wednesday, not bold. Tuesday, bold. That's hilarious. Oh, I have this one. We talked about Team USA Soccer. They fired their coach. Or they parted ways. I don't know if it was a fire.
Yeah, they fired him. I'm sorry, using the proper soccer term, sacked their manager.
Yeah, sure. They gave him the boot. Landon Donovan, next Team USA head coach.
That's pretty bold.
It's the J.J. Redick of it all.
It kind of is.
Just take the player who kind of gets it. He'll relate with the players. Put him on the sideline. I don't want to say this, but I'm going to because I don't really understand soccer. It's just a couple subs a game, right? Like,
there's tactics involved.
I'm sure there are, but I don't know them. So
you should. You're a soccer coach, sir.
I am for 3-year-olds. You know what my strategy is?
What's that?
Let's try to make sure we have the right number of players on the field at all points in time. And then I get to play defense because we don't have they don't throw it in, so you just don't let them hit it out of bounds.
Yeah.
So the coaches each get a sideline, and if it's going near the sideline, you just kind of kick it back into the middle.
Okay.
So that's most of my effort goes to. I'm the assistant coach, by the way. Most of my effort goes towards just not letting it go out of bounds on our side. This one might be my boldest of the bunch. If you give me a buzzer, I'll be very upset. Next week is the British Open. So the next time we do bold predictions, it'll already have started. It'll start on Thursday. So I have to get my bold predictions in now.
Okay.
Rory wins. Rory just had the ultimate mental collapse at the U.S. Open right here in Pinehurst. I think he goes full Virginia basketball a la gets beat by a 16-seed UMBC, big embarrassment, everybody's pointing and laughing, next year national championship. I think he's finally going to be out of his own head because he's going to be thinking like everybody's thinking about U.S. Open rather than thinking about the golf shots. He just needs to get out of his head, positive, negative, or indifferent.
It's like, oh, you won. Now you want to talk to the media.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sure. You know what? That would be the move.
That was a stooge move.
That would be the move. Win.
Just
6 minutes after just go, this is what I do now. It had nothing to do with me losing. I'm just the guy that gets off the course quick now.
I'm just being me. This is just me.
What a move that would be. 6 minutes after he makes the winning putt, he's in the car on the way to the hotel. I skipped the trophy presentation even when I win. It had nothing to do with me losing the U.S. Open. Last one here just for kicks and giggles. Stephon Gilmore signs with the Panthers we'll go next Wednesday. There you go. I feel like the veterans that just don't want to be a part of any of the offseason are going to start signing soon because training camp is coming up, right?
Panthers rookies report a week from today.
Yeah. So he'll sign somewhere around there. No, it's not. It's awesome to think about it.
No, it's just the fact that it came this quickly.
My Dynasty Football League is so nerdy.
I'm sure it is.
We had the second round of our rookie draft last night. Had our first round a month ago. We have our third round mid-August, but we had our second round last night. Finished up this morning.
Oh.
It's here. I mean, football season is here.
You spread out your draft over a month?
Between
rounds?
About 3-4 months. Do a round every month pretty much. For 4 rounds. Just rookies. You know, how normal people do it with normal hobbies.
I got nothing.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9. The Fan, he's got nothing. We've got the starting 5 coming up next. Stick around.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
Jerry Jones would walk away happy if they won a Super Bowl. But is that really his marker of success? Is hoisting the Lombardi Trophy really what Jerry Jones views as a successful season? Or is it his profit margin year to year? I don't know if he's really viewing it as I need to make sure to lock up XYZ players in order for us to be in the best position to compete for a Super Bowl.
Mornings from 6 to 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Pre-order the new Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 6 and Z Flip 6 powered by Galaxy AI with Spectrum free anytime upgrade. Use Circle to search with Google to see more and search more on the large Z Fold 6 screen. Or capture perfectly framed pics using FlexCam and Z Flip 6. Pre-order through Spectrum and get up to $1,000 off, plus double the storage on us. Hurry, offer ends July 23rd. Visit a Spectrum store or SpectrumMobile.com today. Offer subject to change, valid for qualified residential customers only. Service not available in all areas. Restrictions apply.
Doesn't the North Carolina Education Lottery Winners Club give the best massages?
I've never felt so relaxed. next.
Thanks to this month's scratch-offs, this is our life now.
It's like winning again and again and again.
New $80 million cash blowout and triple red sevens mean new winners. The Winners Club awaits. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds winning range from 1-in-4.28 to 9.95. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With Venture X, earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy and turn everyday purchases into extraordinary trips. Plus, receive premium travel benefits like access to over 1,300 airport lounges where you just check in and chill out. Open up a world of possibilities with Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Batter up! Theater Raleigh presents Bull Durham, a new musical playing Duke University's Reynolds Industries Theater in Durham, September 10th through the 22nd. Based on the classic movie, the film's original screenwriter Ron Shelton has adapted the story for the musical, so you can follow Crash Davis's Durham Bulls story and his romantic love triangle in a new genre. The perfect blend of comedy, drama, and steamy romance. Get your tickets for Bull Durham, a new musical, today. Details and ticket info at theaterraleigh.com.
Organize easy. Organize tough. Customize your work truck or van with upfit solutions from Van Products. Steel and aluminum shelving, toolboxes, data files, cabinets, drawers, conduit carriers, ladder racks, everything safe and secure. Everything built as unbreakable as you by Adrian Steel. Backed by the best warranty in the business. 3 years, 36,000 miles. Everything custom installed by Van Products so you know it's done right. From a single work rig to a fleet, choose custom installed upfit solutions from Van Products.
You're not going to want to miss this. Diamonds Direct summer sale starts next weekend. For 3 days only, next Friday through Sunday, get 20% off. Rings, earrings, pendants, bracelets, and more. Plus, book an appointment and get an additional $100 off. And designers are flying in from New York and LA to showcase their latest trends. That's 20% off, plus $100 off with an appointment and designer trunk shows. Tons of engagement rings on sale too. 20% off starts next Friday. Details at diamondsdirect.com.
Is foot pain keeping you from living the life you love? Hi, it's Jonathan Cotton with the Good Feet Store, and life is too short to be living with foot, knee, or back pain. When all four arches in your feet are supported, the results can be amazing. Go to goodfeet.com to make your appointment today.
The Adam Gold Show.
While I'm watching Colombia-Uruguay, not only the end of that match, but the fight in the stands after it.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Heard it got spicy.
A horrible, horrible look. But that was the most excited fans we have seen in 5 years at Bank of America Stadium. Man, look at all the happy people at Bank of America.
Just took the other kind of football.
Yeah, there you go. More of that.
The Adam Gold Show, weekdays starting at noon on 99.9 The Fan. This hour of buzzer-beating, nail-biting, edge-of-your-seat sports action on 99.9 The Fan is powered by
Ritchie Law Firm Injury Lawyers.
Visit GotBryan.com.
That's GotBryan.com.
WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on radio, web, app, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports leader.
I'm meteorologist Kat Campbell. It's a WRAL weather alert day due to the several reports we've received of flooded roadways. Be careful on the roads. This evening, we will gradually see the rain taper off after sunset, but there could be some showers that pop back up overnight. Low temperatures are near the mid-70s and a lot of clouds early Saturday morning.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 5 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones up 247 points to 40,001. Market update brought to you by Pure Hockey. Get ready to unleash your potential this season. Your Wake Forest Pure Hockey store has inventory of the top gear arriving from now through year end. Pure Hockey, your ultimate hockey headquarters.
It's 5 o'clock. Time to serve up the biggest sports stories of the day. Here comes your starting five.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is time for the starting five, as it always is right about this time. And as always, we start with number 5. Ladies and gentlemen, we've made it. Tomorrow, Saturday, July 13th.
Okay.
there will be football players going to football practice, or at least reporting to where they will be having practices. The Ravens rookies are the first NFL football players to report for training camp July 13th. And you know who that is? Tez Walker.
Tez Walker, that's right.
So there's a local connection playing, or at least getting ready to play football tomorrow. We have made it. The off season, it's long. Doesn't feel as long as it used to because there's more news and everything that comes out of football than ever before. It is a awesome feeling. Do you know what training camp is the best of for football? And Dennis, you'll appreciate this.
Okay.
It is the ultimate hard 180. You're so excited when you get there. And then the third day, you're just exhausted and you're
I'm done.
Why was I so excited to
this is the worst.
I make this reference all the time. If you played football growing up, especially if you started Pop Warner and you played through at least high school, right? So you get a solid 10 years. You almost don't even know August is still summer. You're your first year when you don't play. My first year out of college, I remember it was we were scheduling a trip to go to the beach in August, and I was like, wait a minute. You're telling me people are still vacationing in August? Because you think that it's 4th of July, you get a week, then it's over, right? Then you're working out, then you're getting ready. You don't want to be the least in shape person going into training camp. It's just summer. Summer ends July 20th. Turns out summer keeps going. It's kind of awesome, right? Some of the best weather on the entire calendar is right after I thought everything shut down. But the Ravens rookies reporting Tez Walker. Obviously, I think there's a pretty good role for him in Baltimore. You look at that offense. There's Derrick Henry. It's going to draw a lot of attention. There's Lamar Jackson, going to draw a lot of attention, speaking with his legs. There's Mark Andrews, tight end, one of the best. He's going to be over the middle, working the middle part of the field, seams and things, but attracting a lot of attention from the safeties. There's Zay Flowers, their first-round pick from a season ago out of BC. He's lightning quick, going to be drawing a lot of attention on all those under routes. They need somebody to go deep. They need somebody to take the top off. When those safeties get a little inching forward, when they get a little nosy, Tez Walker, I can run down the field in a straight line and have Lamar Jackson throw it up. I think he's going to have a 30-catch, 6-touchdown season.
Okay.
Right? Where it's the volume might not be there, but his yards per catch will be high, and he'll have a couple, 40-yard touchdowns.
We'll catch 2 passes a game, basically.
Yeah, 2 passes a game.
Then every other game catching a touchdown, it feels like.
Yeah, exactly. And but he's never going to be the target in the red zone. They've got too many other targets in the red zone. If he scores, it's going to have to be from deep. But I think there's a role for that on Baltimore. Odell Beckham Jr. is not there anymore.
I think he just signed with Miami, by the way.
Yeah, I think he did.
1 year, $3 million, I think.
Him and Tyreek Hill on the same team 8 years ago.
Gosh.
Right now, hopefully it doesn't take away too many targets from Jalen Waddle. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Football players reporting tomorrow. That's number 5. Let's get to number 4.
We are the 4 horsemen. Woo!
So apparently this Paul Skenes guy is a good pitcher.
Yeah, for the Pittsburgh Pirates.
He was one of those, you kind of got to know him a little bit when he was in college, and you thought maybe all right, let's see. Turns out he, rifled right through the minors. He's in the majors, and he's really good. There's 2 stories right now that I've come across my purview involving this Paul Skenes character, pitcher for the Pirates. The first is he was taken out of the game after 9 innings with a no-hitter going. Sorry. Definitely not after. He was pulled after 9 because he was going extra. No.
I mean, a normal guy? Okay.
He was pulled after 7 innings with a no-hitter going, 99 pitches thrown, and still strong, no signs of slowing down. The other story that's brought into my purview about this Paul Skenes character is that as a rookie who didn't even start the year up, is going to start the All-Star game. Not just be an All-Star, which we already said, but start the All-Star game. He's getting the nod to be out there to face the leadoff hitter of the American League, like top of the lineup. That's a big deal. To me, those two things are what makes baseball so hard to stay invested in, and baseball trying to make us stay invested in it. Right? And what I mean by that is I completely, like, as a competitor, you pull Skenes every time after the 7th inning. He threw 99 pitches. He's a rookie. He's going to be throwing more pitches with a higher volume than he's ever thrown before, and arms explode when you throw that hard. So I get it.
Oh, yeah. I 100% get it.
As a fan, I liked it better. It was more entertaining when managers just knew if the guy's got a no-no going, I'm staying in the dugout.
Yeah.
It was more fun for it. And I actually saw something, somebody, they unintentionally made the exact opposite point they were trying to make, because they brought up Tim Lincecum. And they, remember Tim Lincecum? The freak?
Oh, yeah.
The franchise.
Played for the San Francisco Giants for a long time.
One of my favorite SportsCenter commercials, when he's trying to record his outgoing voicemail message. And he's like, hey, you've reached Tim the Freak Lincecum. No. You've reached Tim the Franchise Lincecum. And then he just, I don't know why it's funny to me. He just pauses and goes, you've reached big time Timmy Jim. And the delivery of it makes me laugh every time. But they brought up Tim Lincecum, and they showed he was a young pitcher, power pitcher, 3-time whatever, 4-time All-Star. And they said he threw a no-hitter, 147 pitches or something like that, and saying, like, this is when baseball was baseball. What the tweet failed to point out was that Tim Lincecum's arm basically fell apart way earlier in his career than it should. Mm-hmm. And there's no way he should have been throwing 147 pitches with the way he threw and as hard as he threw. So that's kind of the argument to keep Skenes out. But then my thought went to, those like 5 years when Lincecum was good was so much fun to watch. So we're never going to have that moment where there's a guy out there throwing 130 pitches every time he goes out, mowing down a lineup, grinding, going 9 innings. We're just going to have a whole bunch of really good pitchers that get pulled after 6 innings every time and are never out there for the money pitches, the pitches that decide the game at the end.
Baseball's so data-driven in multiple ways, especially when it comes to pitching. There's a couple ways. One, there's like, well, batting averages go up the 3rd time around for a lineup against the starting pitcher. So that's why you're starting to see managers take out a starting pitcher generally in like the 6th inning. Yep. But also, the way pitchers are taught now, the best way to get outs are to, one, throw gas.
Yep. And
second, it's like the quote-unquote spin rates. Like basically how fast you can spin the baseball as you're pitching it. It's not good for arms. That's why we see Tommy John surgery for like 14-year-olds and 15-year-olds.
Sometimes they do it like because you're stronger after Tommy John than you are before. They do it like electively when they're like 15.
Which is stupid.
Take their sophomore year of high school off and
which
Tommy
is
John.
Absolutely dumb.
Yeah.
Because there's no guarantee you even come back from that.
Yep.
It's
absurd.
They don't actually teach guys like how to work a count or like how to work corners and like, hey, let's change locations and movement and speeds while throwing from the same arm angle like Greg Maddux used to do.
Nope, it's just 100 miles an hour.
It's just gas.
If they hit 100, I'll throw at 103.
Yeah, it's just
if they hit 103, I'll hit it at 105.
Day.
And I'll mix in like a hard on my elbow circle change at 85 just to give them something to think about. So that's where baseball, like, it's so hard to get into it. Because I know if I'm watching something awesome, I might not get to the satisfaction of seeing it through.
I remember it was I can't remember what year it was, when the Rays played the Dodgers in the World Series, and the Rays manager literally pulls out a binder in the World Series to say, well, the numbers say I should go to the bullpen and take the ball out of my best pitcher in Blake Snell, who's been dealing. It's like, you lost me there, baseball. You really did.
But I don't know what the solution is, because I
don't know. Play baseball.
But like as a competitor, you want to do what's best for your team, and I can't look at a team and say like you have to let him keep pitching when they're like, no, I'm paying him $30 million a year. If his elbow explodes, I'm on the hook for that. Like I don't know what the solution is. There might be an equipment thing they could do. Maybe I don't know. Lower the mound, raise the mound. I need a physics lesson. But the other side is he's starting the All-Star game. That's baseball learning.
True.
Because for a long time, baseball was like, oh, he has no seniority. No, he can't start the All-Star game. He hasn't paid his dues. Let's give it to someone with a slightly better ERA. They earned it. Oh, let's give it to someone who has more wins. They've grinded, which I get. I understand that. Like, I see the logic. But you have to understand sports are a entertainment thing. That's where you make your money, especially an All-Star game is about entertainment. And if you're a 9-year-old and you only get to watch the first 2 innings before your parents make you go to bed, you want to see Paul Skenes.
Yeah.
You want to see the new hot thing. You want to see the fresh out of the draft superstar. The other thing I'll say about Skenes, have you seen his warm-up routine?
No.
If you want to have like a very confusing 4 minutes, type in Paul Skenes warm-up. He has like a backpack that looks like he's carrying like a yoga mat, and he's whipping his shoulders around with it. He throws the ball backwards a bunch of times. He plays catch with a football. He does a lot of interesting stuff. I'm sure there's some smart person that told him to do it. But that's number 4. Actually, are you looking it up now?
No, I'm not.
Oh, okay, actually. I was going to say if you're going to react to it.
I will look it up.
All right, that's fine. That's number 4. Let's get to number 3.
1, 2, 3.
I was going to do live reactions if you were, but we'll move on. Sadie Englehart, Cooper Flag. Snaps. Congratulations. You are the male and female Gatorade Players of the Year, as revealed at the ESPYs. Local college recruiters here in the Triangle. Snaps. Duke basketball bringing in Cooper Flag, and Sadie Englehart is going to NC State track and field. So both of the two, is not best basketball players, is not best track and field athletes. It's not best athletes in North Carolina. According to Gatorade and the ESPYs, the 2 best athletes in high school, men's and women's, male and female, are going to be competing here in the Triangle next year. They're probably both already here, although they were at the ESPYs last night. Probably here training and everything at times already. Cooper Flag, basketball, I mean, what do I have to say that hasn't been said about him already? He's 6'9", 6'10", shoots, rim defends, runs, good instincts. One of the best 17-year-olds ever. Sadie Englehart set the national high school record in the mile. Can I just say this about the record in the mile? I think that's an underrated record to hold.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Every time you ask somebody like, "Oh, if you could set any record in sports, what would it be?" A lot of times you hear like most money earned. You hear home run record, 100-meter dash, most points scored, most Super Bowls won. I think the mile is a little underrated. Do you know why? Everyone in elementary school runs a mile.
Yeah, everyone has to do it.
If anyone is good at the mile, like really good, we're going to find it, right? You smash the mile in 5th grade, teacher's going to say, hey, you should go out for the middle school track team. There's no real other sport that like everybody does, right? There's a good chance somewhere in Iowa is like genetically the 3rd best swimmer to ever live, but they were never put in a pool until they were, 16, and they didn't know they were good and they didn't train in it. Everyone in America is put through the mile. Sadie Englehart, who's coming to NC State next year and was the Gatorade Female Player of the Year at the ESPYs, is the fastest to ever run the mile in high school history. That is a supremely underrated record.
They announced the time?
I'm sure we could find it out. Is this going to be really, really sad for us? She said 4:28.
Yeah, that's fast.
That is flying. She ran the 800 in 2:04. She made it to the Olympic trials in the 1500. So, and she'll be running for the Wolfpack. That's number 3. Let's get to number 2.
Just the 2 of us.
There was the Spider-Man meme pointing at each other thing going on at the ESPYs last night because the number 1 overall pick of the Carolina Panthers quarterback, Bryce Young, spoke with the number 1 overall pick quarterback of the Carolina Panthers, Cam Newton. They were there. Cam in all of his fashion glory. Bryce Young was there to announce an award for Nick Saban. They spoke for a little bit of time here. We have some of the audio. Here's Cam and Bryce.
This is the thing that I do know. I mean, I've talked to a lot of people here, but this conversation is a little different. I know what you're going through. I've been where you are, the frustration and even yearning for the success, right? The city of Charlotte, the Carolinas as a whole, when they see you, what is something that you want them to know from the horse's mouth?
I just want them to know that I'm giving my all. We as a team, as an organization, we're giving our all.
Yes,
again, I get it, being a sports fan, being whatever it is. I appreciate how passionate of a city of the Carolina, of the states that the Carolinas are. I'm grateful for that. I love being a part of that. We don't want anything worse than want to win. We all want to we're doing whatever it takes. We're putting the work, and we're going to continue to do that. So we appreciate the passion. We love it, and I just want everyone in the Carolinas to know we're going to give our all to get where we need to be.
Absolutely. Everything great takes time. Rome was not built in one day. My man, my player, my partner.
Do you know what is funny? Cam Newton, Rome was not built in a day. Everything takes time. Quite literally had one of the best rookie seasons in the history of the NFL. He's like, it's cool, Bryce. It takes time. Rome wasn't built in a day. Me? No, I threw for 4,000 yards, and I pretty much hit the ground running as far as a running quarterback because, I'm Cam Newton. I had 706 yards and 14 rushing touchdowns my rookie year, in addition to 4,000 passing yards. But no, you take your time. It's cool, buddy.
Yeah, but they weren't a winning team though. That was rookie season though.
They were or weren't?
I don't think they were, if I remember correctly.
6-10.
6-10, yeah. But he had a squad around him, though. He had Steve Smith. Greg Olsen was there. He had D'Angelo Williams, Jonathan Stewart. I think Jeremy Shockey was there, too. Like, he had some dudes around him.
Yeah, D'Angelo Williams, Jonathan Stewart. Let's go to receiving over here, see who else was.
Did he have Musha Muhammad,
Steve
I believe,
Smith,
as well?
Brandon LaFell was their second best.
Brandon LaFell, that's right.
Then Greg Olsen, Legadou Nane.
Oh, yeah.
And Jeremy Shockey.
So yeah, he had some
players.
Some good players around him. It almost felt like that conversation that they had talking about, hey, look, I understand what it's like, to struggle and yearn for success in with this franchise, being number one overall picks. It felt like it was like the passing of a torch. Like, hey man, like I know what it's like.
Oh yeah.
It's yours now. Like, go do the thing. It felt like it was that.
A little bit. Like I think it's also just kind of like an acknowledgement of like,
yeah,
only we could really understand what's going on right now. So we're speaking the same language and winks and nods and that kind of stuff. Two very different people, like his personality wise. Bryce is
and
just
built very different.
True, like just as far as measurements. Bryce is still the most polished, like, speaker to the media, answerer of questions I've seen, and I'm craving, and maybe this is what he could take away from Cam. I'm craving just let us in a little bit more. Let us in on what you're actually thinking a little bit more, not just what you think the starting quarterback of the Carolina Panthers is supposed to say in this situation. Obviously, I'm not saying like don't come out there like, my receivers ran the wrong routes. I'm not saying like, completely forget all your media training. I'm just saying like, Cam is really good at saying what comes through his brain and kind of, obviously showing his personality. Bryce is, what do you want? What do you want, Carolina? I want to know that I work hard. Nobody wants to win more than I do. I understand the passion from the states of the Carolinas. And I'm like, all right, but what do you want us to know? Not what do you think we want to know?
Yeah. Don't give me the polished answer.
Yeah.
Give me the authentic one.
And maybe he is just that polished, but I don't know. It seems I want a little more authenticity. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. That's number 2. Let's finish out the starting 5 with number 1.
The one!
A Fannies update.
The Fannies.
The Fannies. Next week, we'll be naming the winners of the Fannies. The Fannies are like the ESPYs for ESPN, but we're 99.9 The Fan. The Fannies. We have 10 categories. We have nominees. The nominees are not set in stone, right? If you think you can come up with a better nominee, we want to hear it because we don't want anyone left off the ballot who is deserving. So, Dennis, do you want to give a rundown? We went over these extensively earlier. You can find them on Twitter, I believe.
Yes, I posted them on at the Fan Rookie, all the nominations, and if you've also followed 99.9 The Fan on X as well, it's reposted there. It's also on 99.9 The Fan's YouTube page as well, so you can actually go watch. And if you want to leave comments in terms of what you think, we could do that as well. But we have nominations for the best team, male athlete, female athlete, coach of the year. By the way, these categories are all from the timeline of July 1st of last year through June 30th of this year. So that's the 12-month calendar that we're working with, and it's all college and pro athletes involving the state of North Carolina. So best team, male athlete, female athlete, coach of the year, rivalry of the year, the game of the year, best single game performance, play of the year, breakout performer or breakout athlete, and biggest story of the year. So a bunch of different categories.
I have a question. Do you want to do some show talk on air?
Sure.
How are we deciding this? Just you and I are gonna, and maybe Paul get in a room and decide?
Sure. We could poll people around the office.
Or do we want to put a Twitter poll up, maybe a couple a day, and then do the big reveal on Friday? And let the people get involved.
I don't. Maybe. Send us who you think.
Yeah, like I
just tell us who you think.
I want to see. Again, we're just spitballing, not set in stone here. I know last year it was just kind of an internal decision.
Yeah, it was me and Luis Fernandez last year.
Shout out to Lou. But well, just an idea there that popped into my head where you can maybe get some people involved.
We actually had a couple people, at least some people mention, for example, the play of the year. We had play of the year was Peyton Wilson, linebacker for NC State, running down a wide receiver against Notre Dame. Drake May, lefty touchdown pass, quarterback for UNC versus Pitt. Michael O'Connell, NC State basketball, the buzzer beater in the ACC tournament against Virginia. Jordan Martinook of the Carolina Hurricanes, the save he had in the playoffs versus the New York Rangers at home in Game 6 when the puck was almost completely across the goal line. And Paul on Twitter actually responded to that category because I listed all the categories in their own little subtweets. He says, I love the Peyton Wilson play, but the Peyton Wilson pick six against Clemson was even more impressive. I was like, hey, you know what?
The picture of him diving into the end zone over the pylon
is just awesome.
If I were Peyton Wilson, would be blown up on the wall of my living room. It would be it would be my profile picture, it'd be my screensaver. I'd have a little card of it in my wallet. That's pretty good.
I mean, we might have to change. But we are willing to change the nominees that we have. Again, they're all listed out there.
Yep. You can check them out on Twitter or, like you said, YouTube or any other place that you find our interactions. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. I'm sure I have to tell you about something. Yes, I do. I'm excited. I like talking about this. I want to tell you about Fox & Bailey Watch Shop, located inside Bailey's Fine Jewelry at their Village District location in Raleigh. And today I'm going to talk about one of my favorite brands of watches, Omega. They have a Omega boutique that opened up just a few months ago in mid-February with a grand opening launch party. I was there. It was a blast. It's the second largest Omega boutique of its kind in the entire country, which is meaningful because Omega is also one of the most popular watch brands when it comes to luxury watches in the entire country, in the entire world. They are the official Olympic timekeeper, which is pretty important, right? They're aware of seconds and milliseconds and how important timekeeping is at the Olympics. The models, there are nearly limitless variations, but they kind of break down into four categories. There's the DeVille, nice little dress watch. Maybe a little less flashy, but it's an if you know, you know watch. There's the Constellation, which starts to get into some more of the statement pieces. There's the Seamaster, which many of you will recognize from the wrist of a very popular movie Spy. There's the Speedmaster, my personal favorite. It's known as the Moon Watch. It's been worn on the moon. It's trusted. Its mechanism and movement is trusted in every kind of environment. If you want the top-of-the-line craftsmanship in your watch and your timepiece, Omega is pretty darn good. And if you want the second largest Omega boutique of its kind in the entire country, it's right there in Raleigh, located inside Bailey's Fine Jewelry at their Village District location. The Omega boutique's on the left side. When you walk in, make sure they know you heard about it right here on 99.9 The Fan from me, Tim. Now we have the numbers game coming up, and we have the last chance to win a pair of tickets to see the Monster Jam, PNC Arena, July 27th. We'll have a new prize next week for the numbers game. So for right now, if you want to win the Monster Jam tickets, you have to call in and win the numbers game. You have to win, too. That's important. Call in now, 919-860-5326. 919-860-5326 for the numbers game coming up next.
Move your sports day forward.
Players get gaslit in arbitration. You relive every turnover, every lost battle in the corner, every missed shot, because this is about getting paid. But it's also, on the team's end, about getting under the cap.
Get set up. Join Next Up with Paul Ihander. Mornings at 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Hot summer days mean time on the water. Let Sound Station and Security make your time even better with our custom boat options. At Sound Station and Security, our Raleigh marine experts can help you for everything with your boat, from the perfect audio system to lights to video. We do it all custom, and we do it all from scratch. You're unique. Your boat should be too. Make sure everyone knows where the best party is this summer on the lake with Sound Station and Security. With 2 locations, downtown Smithfield and on Glenwood Avenue in Raleigh. Online at myhotsound.com.
Hungry for flavor and value? Then it's bow time. Nothing slays the hunger beast like some of that bodacious Bojangles flavor. And there's never been a better time to satisfy your Bojangles sandwich cravings than now. With Bojangles Summer Sandwich lineup, you can choose a flavorful Cajun fried chicken filet sandwich, or a tender Cajun grilled chicken filet sandwich, or a crispy Cajun filet club sandwich, or a tasty Bo's chicken sandwich. Make it a sandwich combo and add your choice of a side. Maybe Bojangles seasoned fries, dirty rice, or Cajun pintos. And to complete the perfect meal, Bojangles legendary iced tea. There's a Bojangles sandwich combo for everyone in the family. Summer just doesn't get any better than that. What are you waiting for? You know you're hungry, and you know you want flavor and value. So, it's Bojangles Sandwich Combo time.
See if you're a winner every night. Watch live lottery drawings on WRAL-TV's 11 o'clock news. That's right, Carolina Pick 3, Carolina Pick 4, and Carolina Cash 5 numbers every night on WRAL-TV's 11 o'clock news. See if you're a winner before you go off to bed. Get your lottery numbers live every night.
North Carolina Education Lottery.
Only on WRAL-TV's 11 o'clock news.
That'll be 30 even.
That's 90 points! Sorry, that was a lot. Now that I'm getting 3 times the points on food and fuel with the Navy Federal More Rewards American Express card, I get a little too hyped sometimes.
Cool. Would you like your receipt?
In the bag! Sorry, in the bag, please.
Learn more about the everyday, everywhere Navy Federal More Rewards American Express card at NavyFederal.org. Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission. Navy Federal is insured by NCUA.
Injured in a motorcycle accident? Call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS before you call your insurance company. The insurance company wants to pay you the least amount possible. Law Tigers are riders too, so we understand what your bike and gear are worth and what you're going through after an accident. Your case evaluation is always free, and we don't get paid until your case settles. Call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS, North Carolina's motorcycle lawyers. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
Nothing makes being outdoors better than having the right gear and the right crew. So here's an idea. Let Mountain Dew supply the gear and you bring the friends. Because when you buy specially marked multi-packs of Mountain Dew, you can collect points and earn epic limited edition outdoor gear. So buy Dew, collect points, get gear, and get outside with Mountain Dew outdoor gear.
Open to legal U.S. residents 18+, subject to program terms at dewoutdoors.com and 12/31/24, void or prohibited.
Now at Circle K, get 2 Mountain Dews for just $4. That's 2 Dews for just $4 at Circle K. Do the Dew.
Listen every afternoon for The Drive with Tim Donnelly.
They're still making moves. What I want to decide is if it's busy just to stay busy, just like we're doing something about it. We know something has to happen, so we're working hard. You look in the ant farm, you want to see people walking in lines following each other, right? You want to see work being done. Or if this is actually how they plan on solving the issue.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 3 to 6 on 99.9 The Fan.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is time to play the numbers game. on the line. Competing today, we have Steve in Youngsville and Jess in Fuquay. They are playing to win a pair of tickets to see Monster Jam at PNC Arena on July 27th. As always on Friday, when we ask a question to see who goes first, it's this question. We'll start with Steve in Youngsville. Steve, what are you most looking forward to for this upcoming weekend, with the caveat that it has to be sports-related?
There's not a lot going on right now, so if the weather holds out, I'll try to get out to see the Mudcats tomorrow night. Other than that, I'll probably watch the Indiana Fever tonight. That's really about all I got.
All right, hey,
on.
Solid answer. Solid answer. We'll go to Jess and Fuquay. Jess, same question to you. What is the highlight for your weekend, with the caveat being it has to be sports-related?
Well, love my Braves, so I'm just going to go watching baseball, like, all around.
All right.
Probably the Braves, yep.
All right. We do tend to lean local, so Steve gave a little bit of a local answer, so we'll go that way. But both of you will have your chance to win the tickets, and you'll have your chance to play the game. We'll just start with Steve. Steve, are you there?
Yes, sir.
All right. Here are the categories. One of these categories actually I had to think about to make sure I got it right. NFL E. Those are all players whose first name starts with the letter E. NFL, mostly young guys. Why not? Those are 4 of the 5 have the last name Young. The other have a last name that start with Y. So mostly young guys. Why not? And then NBA current players only and NHL Canes and Whalers only.
Let's do the NFL E's.
Okay. NFL players, they all have a first name that starts with the letter E. I will give you the player name, the player's team. You give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. 30 seconds on the clock. You have one pass if you need it. Any questions before we get started?
No, I'm good.
All right. Your time will start when you hear the horn. Eli Manning, New York Giants.
10.
Correct. Emmitt Smith, Dallas Cowboys.
22.
Correct. Ed Reed, Baltimore Ravens.
29.
Incorrect. Eddie Kennison, Kansas City Chiefs.
3.
Incorrect. Ed Reed, Baltimore Ravens.
20.
Correct. Earl Thomas, Seattle Seahawks.
Oh, man, I should know this one. 29.
Correct. Eddie Kennison, Kansas City Chiefs.
1.
Oh, we were so close. Also, I don't know why. I think I said Kansas City Chiefs with like a British accent. But I still, you were there. You just didn't know the player. Never heard of Eddie Kennison?
No.
All right. Well, he wore number 87 with the Chiefs at different stops along. What was that?
Is he a current player?
I don't believe so.
Yeah.
He in different stops along the way, 88, 82, 85, and 86. So he was always in the 80s.
Crap.
But 4 out of 5 is still a good number. Still very, very solid showing on a Friday. Go ahead and sit on the line. We'll see if it holds up, all right?
Will do.
All right, there you go. And that brings us to Jess and Fuquay. Jess, are you there?
I am there, yes.
All right. The categories remaining for you to choose are NFL, mostly young guys. Why not? NBA, current players, and NHL, Canes and Whalers only.
NFL, why not? Young players.
All right. These are all players who either have a last name that is Young or a last name that starts with the letter Y. I'll give you the team and the player. Give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. 30 seconds on the clock. One pass if you need it. You need a perfect score to win. Are you ready to roll?
Sure.
All right. Your time will start when you hear the horn. Bryce Young, Carolina Panthers.
Pass.
Chase Young, Washington football team.
99.
Correct. Steve Young, San Francisco 49ers.
8.
Correct. Marshall Yanda, Baltimore Ravens.
Oh, I don't know. 30.
Vince Young, Tennessee Titans.
Oh, shoot. 10.
Correct. Bryce Young, Carolina Panthers.
14.
Incorrect. There's a little bit of hesitancy there. Instead of saying I don't know, just throw a number out there.
And
it'll get to the next
idea.
Bryce Young with the Panthers, number 9. Chase Young with Washington, number 99. Steve Young, number 8. Marshall Yanda, one of the best guards in the league for better part of a decade, number 73. And Vince Young with Tennessee, number 10. Those were the ones you got, the ones you didn't get.
Still got 3 of 5, which is still pretty solid.
3 is very good, unless the person before you got 4. Then it still feels a little bit like a bummer. But thank you for playing. Hopefully you had fun.
Yep. And thank you.
Yep, that brings us to Steve in Youngsville. Steve, you are the winner.
Woo!
Nice woo. I like it. You win a pair of tickets to see Monster Jam PNC Arena on July 27th. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, so on the line, Dennis has some info he needs to grab from you, but you are the winner, and you will get the tickets. That's a solid Friday. I'll take it. That is a solid Friday. 7 total, 7 out of 10. Some hard ones in there. Eddie Kennison, that's going to be a difficult one to get. Marshall Yonda, that's going to be a difficult one to get. But it was still a good move, right? It was still felt like we got some action there, which I'll take. Speaking of getting some action, that's not what I meant on a Friday. But getting some action in Summer League, DJ Burns with the Cavs, I'm seeing on social media. I'm watching here in the studio. We have New Orleans and Minnesota in NBA Summer League, excuse me. But DJ Burns turns out being a big, tall, strong dude with good footwork and soft touch, making a couple plays in Summer League. I think it's still odds are stacked against him just because he's so unique. But if he can get a team to fall in love with his skill set, there's an ability there that is unique and rare, right? I mean, we saw it at NC State, not just during the run. You see it whenever that guy gets hot. It's really, really tough to stop him from putting the ball in the basket when he gets it anywhere near the painted area, and it appeared that way in at least a few clips. And I'm going to be honest here. I'm going to be upfront. I mean, I haven't been able to watch all the Cavs Summer League, so I'm going off of just clips online, which is a dangerous thing to do, right? Because you could be getting toasted for 9/10 of the game, but you only show the clips from the 1/10, and it looks like you're having a great day. But it looks like DJ Burns is translating a little bit, which is the concern, right? Will his game translate to the NBA? Will his game translate to the NBA? Still don't know the answer. Still jury is out. But it at least translates in small blips to the NBA Summer League, which is pretty fun. We're going to take a break. When we come back, it is Friday, which means we have to make our picks. Dennis will line up the biggest games, the biggest events. We'll make our picks coming up next.
The Adam Gold Show.
While I'm watching Colombia-Uruguay, not only the end of that match, but the fight in the stands after it.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Heard it got spicy.
A horrible, horrible look. But that was the most excited fans we have seen in 5 years at Bank of America Stadium. Man, look at all the happy people at Bank of America.
Just took the other kind of football.
Yeah, there you go. More of that.
The Adam Gold Show, weekdays starting at noon on 99.9 The Fan.
An orthopedic surgeon makes understanding pain painless.
It's the biggest frustration that patients have.
This is Dr. Pamela Mehta talking about aches with unexpected origins.
I see patients with pain in their knees, their hips, their back. Oftentimes, the pain is actually coming from their feet.
Bet they aren't expecting to hear that.
Those patients are super surprised. They can't believe that the pain in their knee isn't coming from actually inside the knee. But if you think about it, the feet are the base to your whole body.
That's why she suggests personally fit arch supports. Emphasis on the personal fit.
If you get something basing it just on your shoe size, it isn't going to fit you properly.
And if it doesn't fit well, it probably won't work well.
Go get arch supports fitted to you. It's as easy as going into a Good Feet store.
The Good Feet store is in Raleigh, Chapel Hill, Fayetteville, and other locations across North Carolina. Visit goodfeet.com to book your appointment today or just stop by.
What are you doing? Eating caviar. Yuck. Get this. Supreme 7 scratch-offs from the North Carolina Education Lottery have the best odds to win $400 with a $4 million top prize. So I'm learning to enjoy rich people stuff.
Okay, let me try. Gross. What's next?
Ballroom dancing.
I'll lead.
New Supreme 7s, a shot at supreme riches. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning are 1 in 4.18. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9313. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 five-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9313. That's 800-575-9313. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Let me talk to those of you who are contact lens wearers. Are you tired of wasting time and money every day, putting them in, taking them out, cleaning, ordering new ones, glasses, prescription sunglasses? I could go on and on. Dr. Lori Travers and Travers LASIK are your answers to my question. In just 5 minutes per eye, Dr. Lori can put you on the path to 20/20 vision. Plus, it's totally painless. You can go back to work the next day. And 2 years, 0 interest financing is available. And we're throwing in $1,000 off. Now the hard part. You actually have to pick up the phone. 919-510-6830. Make the call now. The consultation is free. You could go online, traverslasik.com, but you can call 919-510-6830, 919-510-6830. Go to 20/20 vision in less than 10 minutes. Dr. Lori Travers, Travers LASIK. See what you've been missing.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career and they talked to me about it.
It was done in just months.
I did do it online.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months with zero experience at My Computer Career.
It worked for me and I know it can work for you.
It's not rocket science. It's mycomputercareer.edu.
Move your sports day forward.
Players get gaslit in arbitration. You relive every turnover, every lost battle in the corner, every missed shot, because this is about getting paid. But it's also, on the team's end, about getting under the cap.
Get set up. Join Next Up with Paul Ihander. Mornings at 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. 99.9 The Fan is your place to enjoy the Home Run Derby and MLB All-Star Game. Listen for live pitch-by-pitch coverage starting Monday night at 8, presented by Gatorade. Before we get to make our picks, Dennis, I feel like I just saw an eclipse. Or
I know it's dark outside, but
the thing that everybody says they would do, but no athlete seems to ever do.
Okay.
Somebody just did.
What's that?
Jalen Brunson signed an extension with the Knicks.
Okay.
Took way less money than he could have asked for to keep the team together.
Mm-hmm.
He signed a 4-year, $156.5 million extension.
Oh, poor guy.
That is $113 million less.
Oh, wow.
Than he's eligible to receive if he waited 1 year.
Interesting.
So here's the deal. This year he's eligible for a 4-year, $156.5 max deal. If he waited till next year, he would have been eligible to sign 5 years, $269 million. But he's not even going to try for that. The deal, which will cost Brunson $37.1 million over the next 3 years, comes with a fourth-year player option that would set up Brunson to recoup the rest of that if he gets a 300. Like, basically, for the next 3 years, he's playing for way less than he could. Which is, by the way, what everybody says they would do, right? Everyone's always like us sitting here, I think I would take just $20 million a year and it would set me up to win NBA championships or Super Bowls, right? How much more do you need? But then it seems like everybody in those situations always ends up going, well, I mean, if I could make 56, why wouldn't I?
Yeah.
This is – and by the way, the Knicks went out and got like all his college buddies. He's now playing with 4 guys that he played with at Villanova.
Yeah, it's Villanova's roster.
So maybe it's a little like, hey, you did me a solid. You went and got all the guys I wanted to play with. I'll do you a solid and make it so you can actually keep all them around. Adrian Wojnarowski of ESPN says Brunson's study of championship organizations and franchise stars, Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, Brady and the Patriots, Derek Jeter and the Yankees, gave him a blueprint for MVP-level players who structured contracts to give their teams the best chances at sustainable title runs. I'll tell you what. I grew up a Sixers fan. Obviously, professionally, I'm interested in the Hornets being good. It's going to be mighty hard to root against Jalen Brunson. Like, he did the thing. He did the selfless thing. All right, let's go ahead and jump into making our picks here.
I say, by the way, I'll never blame a player for getting their money.
No.
It's your right. If someone's willing to pay you X amount of dollars, it's not your job to say, well, maybe I should make a little less.
It's just the easiest thing to say when no one is offering you money. Like, oh, if I were Patrick Mahomes, I'd take $20 million a year, and then I'd just have the best wide receivers every year. It's like really easy to say until they slide a check across that says $50 million a year. You know, all right, you know what? I don't need that good receivers. Jalen Brunson did it, though. He did the thing. That's wild. Like, I feel like even as I was telling you this, you were a little skeptical of. You're like, oh, that's all he got, $256 million, and then I said he could have had 113 more, and you went, oh no, wait, that's legit.
Yeah, it's like, oh, okay,
that's wild. All right, let's get to make our picks. What are we picking before the weekend?
Let's actually go. We'll actually do a lot of soccer here to start things off.
Oh, you know my expertise.
Where's
Adam Gold when you need him?
Right. Tomorrow, 8 o'clock, Copa America, third-place matchup, Canada versus Uruguay. Now, here's the thing. I don't know how many guys from Uruguay are going to be suspended for this game, but if guys from Uruguay want to fight Canadians, last time I checked, Canadians, a lot of them played hockey or box lacrosse or both. I bet some of these guys may have had a little cup of coffee in the Western Hockey League for Canada. I don't know if I'm going to be fighting those guys.
Yeah, I think Canada's going to win. I think Uruguay's going to have so much other stuff on there.
So bitter from...
Bitter, angry, maybe a little embarrassed, maybe a little still fired up, little headstrong. I'm just thinking Canada's going to be in a better headspace on that one. I don't know if Canada has a good soccer team, but I'm just looking at, like... I'm sure the Pacers didn't win their next game after the Malice in the Palace. I'd have to look it up, but it just seems like you would be in a weird state to go compete.
Well, I think actually looking at this game from the outside in, Canada is kind of like the darling because they're kind of on the run. They're not supposed to be there, so they might still have the "we have something to prove" thing going on. Say, hey, you know what? We want to prove that we belong here. Let's finish third. Let's still continue to showcase what we can do and build momentum because they're also co-hosting with Mexico and the U.S. the World Cup. Hey, let's build momentum going into 2026 where, like we said, Uruguay, they're ticked.
Yeah.
They're mad.
Yep.
They're going to have, they still got, again, how about in Charlotte?
They were just fighting the Colombian fans.
Yeah, literally.
That's not an exaggeration. They went into the stands to fight the fans of Colombia soccer.
Which is just kind of wild to think about.
Saying it out loud still doesn't feel real.
And it happened in Charlotte.
Feels like something that it would happen to the almost hilariously mean team on a Ted Lasso episode. Mm-hmm. And Ted would be watching it going well, they're as angry as a bunch of Kansas City Jackrabbits. But it happened in real life.
It did. If you take away that from that game, to take away the fight, if you look at it from the outside in, to be like the atmosphere in Charlotte, the quality of play, everything just was awesome. Just outside that fight, everything was awesome about that. And it was cool that it happened here in our backyard.
I mean,
or in our state, I should say.
Good
for Charlotte. I mean, good for the state.
It's a good soccer area.
All right, next one. Making picks here. Let's actually go to the Copa America Championship game, which is Sunday night on Fox, 8 p.m. So Fox 50, you can watch the game there, 8 p.m. By the way, Championship Sunday in soccer. We'll go Copa America Championship, Colombia versus Argentina.
Argentina. Is Messi playing?
Yeah.
Oh, then Argentina.
Argentina by far.
I don't like picking against Mahomes. I don't like picking against Messi.
Yeah.
I didn't like picking against Brady. You don't have to necessarily like them, be fans of theirs to understand that a lot of people go broke trying to bet against them. Messi is, by the way, I saw someone on Twitter that was vacationing in Spain, and they said it's unreal. In Spain, how many pink Inter Miami jerseys you see going around there, because everyone obviously fell in love with Messi with Barcelona, and now they've just followed him. So, like, there's a ton of MLS jerseys, Messi, being worn in Spain because he's just that big a deal. That'd be like if LeBron played for, like, I don't know, Olympiakos in the Greece league or something for a year, and then LA suddenly became like Olympiakos #1 fans. It's Messi's popularity and ability is wild. So I'm not going to pick against him, especially against a team that just had their fans get beat up.
Yeah, I can't pick against Argentina in this one. Give me Argentina wins this one 2-1. Messi scores on a PK in the 75th minute for the game winner.
If you want specifics, fine. Messi will have 4 goals.
Oh, that's real bold prediction.
Give me the bell. Give me the bell. I don't know. It just seems like in those – Messi's one of those guys like Jeter was this way. I'm not a big Jeter fan. I saw Jeter play a few times. I feel like he did something memorable every time I watched him. Right? Sidney Crosby's this way, right? It's like, you're like, oh, I hope my team wins. It's like, yeah, but Sidney scored 2 goals. Like, it's one of those things where it's everyone that sees him play seems to walk away with a story. So there'll be something Messi does that everybody will walk away with a story.
All right, next one here, because, again, it's Championship Sunday in soccer. Copa America, 8 p.m. on Fox. So, again, take that on Fox 50. Earlier in the day, 3 p.m. on Fox. It's the Euro Championship, Spain versus England.
I know so very little about both of these
That's
teams.
totally fine. You just got to give a prediction here.
Gut feeling, Spain, England?
Yeah.
Spain by 2.
Spain by 2. See, I gave a prediction to this earlier when I was sitting in, last week, and I was sitting in your chair a week ago. I said, Victoria and I were making some picks, and I said, England has to win because England is going to get to the championship game. And then they're going to lose in the championship game because that's just what they do. They get close, and then they lose. History proves that.
Spain by
over
2.
centuries. So, give me Spain to win this one as well. But
2.
I think this one actually goes to PKs.
Ooh,
that'd be
exciting.
Spain and PKs.
I like PKs. I like shootouts. I know some people don't think it's like the correct way to end stuff, but I think they're wildly electric. Spain by 2, though.
All right, next one we have here. Premier Lacrosse League, Saturday, 3 o'clock. It's the All-Star game, East vs. West. By the way, if you want to just watch like the best of the best,
yeah, that's it.
Play a fun, fast-action game.
Is it NBA-style All-Star game, or like do they care?
No, they care.
Okay, good.
Oh, no, they play.
Because you're always worried when you're
there's
All-Star.
a little bit of
Pro
flair
Bowl
and stuff
style
in there.
All-Star game. But yeah, I mean, just if you're more like behind-the-back shots and stuff.
Oh, yeah, you get a ton of that stuff. It's going to be a lot of fun.
All right, yeah, give me the East.
Okay, and take the East.
That's where the Chaos are, right?
No, they're actually in the West.
What?
Yeah.
So this is like a condensed map?
Mm-hmm.
All right, then give me the West.
Okay. Carolina Chaos are in the West.
Do they have any All-Stars?
Yeah, 3.
All right, even better. Goalie?
Yeah. Blaze
yeah.
Reardon.
Look at me knowing lacrosse. Regular lax, bro. That's going to do it for us here on The Drive. Thank you to Dennis, not just for setting up that segment, but for keeping us up and running. We started today asking this question. Why doesn't Seth Jarvis have his money yet? Why doesn't he have his contract yet? We'll play our answer to that question coming up next. Don't forget, 99.9 The Fan is your place to enjoy the Home Run Derby MLB All-Star Game. Listen for live pitch-by-pitch coverage starting Monday night at 8, presented by Gatorade. Don't forget, Overdrive is coming up next right here. Don't forget, we'll be back for The Drive on Monday at 3. Don't forget to have a great weekend, everybody. Until Monday, see you.
Hi, this is Renee Chu.